Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Co-Optional Podcast. Yeah, Dodgy, you almost stopped talking in time, so I'm going to give you 5 out of the possible 10 points that we're going to assign to that.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
It's not good. Like, especially if you go by the Metacritic scale, it actually means that your studio needs to be shut down and then burned to the ground.
Or if you're in American high school, that means you failed.
Yeah, it does actually.
It's an F.
It absolutely does.
Is an F.
It does. You know, we're a little bit nicer, I think, in the UK. 50% is kind of like a D, usually, for the most part.
Is it really?
Yeah, well, I mean...
an F?
An F
is... Do you have a
20%.
through F?
It depends. Some schools do it, some schools don't, you know? There's all sorts of things.
Some schools do, some schools don't.
So how do... When you want to
like
go
Hogwarts.
to university, how does the university
graded,
determine like how you did? If the schools are all
percentages, but if you want the actual degree itself is graded by the top is a first, yeah, and then there's a 2-1, a 2-2, and a third, and a fail.
What?
So yeah.
What did you just say?
Yeah.
None of that made sense to me. That's okay.
Yeah. Pretty much. So, yeah, that's how that works, strangely enough. Once the Cautional Podcast, you occasionally talk about video games. We probably don't at this point.
We don't always necessarily. Yeah. The reason that I didn't stop talking in time is because we were talking about Thor. And we were talking about, you know, how
we were disappointed with the movie Thor.
We were disappointed in Thor, but a lot of people were like, oh my god, so good. And I was like, it was okay.
That's it. That's all we were saying.
Thor 2.
See, you liked Thor 2, didn't you, T?
Oh, Dark World? Yeah. I mean, JP...
I was real hungover and/or still drunk though when I saw that, so I didn't like it at all.
You were with me when we saw that, weren't we? Because it was me, Jeff, and Anna, and you. Yeah. We went, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Normally,
you were drunk.
I feel makes you.
I couldn't tell. Like you're just usually like that.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true, but yeah, I didn't. It wasn't the biggest fan.
I thought it was a hell of a lot better than the first one. The first one was just silly. It's like, here's Thor in wacky real situations, hey! Whereas Dark World was actually, here's an actual action-adventure thing.
We were saying that the Thor movies were the weakest of the Avenger franchise films. That's what we were getting at. It's okay. It's not as good as the other ones.
Hang on. The Hulk? Are you fucking kidding me? You think Thor 2 is worse than the Hulk?
There hasn't been a Hulk within like this new Avengers promotional
We said
push.
If we include the Hulk is the worst, but the Hulk's not included because he never really got like the Avengers treatment. And the one time he was in it was in the movie in which he was maybe the best part of that entire movie. So
agreed.
You know.
What was
Although I only really loved the first Iron Man movie. I thought that the other Iron Man movies were pretty weak,
too. I really liked the third one. And
I actually really liked the third one as well.
Okay.
I think mostly because it was the dumbest role that Ben Kingsley has ever had in the universe.
That was a shitty reveal for sure.
The problem that I had with all the Iron Man movies is the villains were always shitty. Like, they weren't good villains. The first one was sort of a mediocre villain. The second one was like, I got whips. It's like, that's boring. And then the third one was like, guess what? We're kind of the same bad guy as the second one. It's always the white corporate guy. Like, okay, I gotcha. I see where you're getting at here, Iron Man.
That's my hang-up with Thor, is that I love Loki. I think that the way that they did Loki is fantastic, but I think that the humor of the Thor movies just doesn't hit right for me. So it winds up feeling a little disjointed.
The one good point was the end of Thor 2. When I'm not even
Which we will not spoil.
So new. Yeah.
No,
but the end of it, I was like, that okay. All right, that sort of makes up for the it was kind of like what I had with the first Star Wars Episode 1. I was like, this is shit, but that fight at the end was pretty awesome. That's kind of like how I felt. I was like, all right, okay, I'll walk out of here enjoying it.
Yeah. I like Iron Man 3.
What happened at the end of the third one? Or the end of Thor?
It's because you were drunk and asleep, as you mentioned earlier.
I 100% fell asleep during the movie. I do remember.
I really wasn't paying much attention to you, I gotta admit.
That was BlizzCon day one. I had been drinking since like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wasn't that before BlizzCon? Or did we actually go during BlizzCon?
It was like the Thursday of BlizzCon.
You're like, let's get out of here. This sucks.
Well, I mean, BlizzCon can get pretty dull. Like we've said it before. BlizzCon is.
It might have been MLG Anaheim. I'm not sure.
It wasn't MLG Anaheim. It was definitely BlizzCon, but I think it was the day before BlizzCon because I'm pretty sure I got
Saturday
there a bit
BlizzCon.
early. I've said it before. Unless you really like the panels, BlizzCon is a lot of waiting in queues for whatever new game they've got on display and not much else. Unless, I think people were fortunate this year because WCS was on like all the fucking time. So you could have easily gone and watched World Championship Series and there would always be good games. So if you're into StarCraft, it was great. But aside from that, if you don't turn up at the panels, then it's a bit of a waste of time.
Yeah, I feel like not going this year was a mistake because I didn't go.
I don't think you missed much unless you wanted to watch StarCraft.
We had Hearthstone, we had Heroes of the Storm. Like I feel like this year, in comparison to the other years that I went, where it was like, hey, you want StarCraft? You want to stand in a Diablo line again? I'm like, no, that's okay.
Well, Heroes was there. Heroes of the Storm was there.
Heroes of the Storm was there, yeah. The problem is you had to queue for ages for like a 15-minute game, unless you were pressed.
I skipped the line and you didn't. What the fuck?
I did.
I didn't wait in line.
I went up the press room and played as many rounds as I wanted. It was quite funny. Because I initially picked Abatha.
From the layman stance.
Yeah. I initially picked Abatha, and there was a Blizzard employee behind me. It's like, you might not want to pick him. He's a bit advanced. It's like, I'll see how I go. And I end up going 29-0 with this fucker. Yeah. And I'm just like, you realize you put me up against easy AI, and I've played Dota before. I think I'll be fine.
Though. That is a different level of...
He doesn't even know to this day that he was still playing AI. He does
No,
not.
I knew for a fact I was playing AI because they said like all the press machines were only against the AI in the press room. But I'm like, you know what? I want to crack out like 6 or 7 games with different heroes, so I'll gladly stomp the AI into the floor over and over again, and then just wait for the proper multiplayer thing for heroes.
Here's the difference between TB and I. We both had the same press passes. TB goes to the press room. I go to the area where people are at and go in the back, like, press.
No, that's what I do.
Just so I could be like, press, guys.
Yeah.
Later. And just walk in. TB's like, no, I will not do that.
Well, no, because I didn't want to... People were waiting in the line for hours. I didn't want to skip the queue, take a spot from somebody else. So I went to the press room where I don't give a shit about them.
I would not care.
Yeah, how many times did you do that, Jesse? Because I think I hit double digits.
Oh my god, especially with Heroes of the Storm, I was like, I'm gonna go back again. Finally, the last night, I was like, do I play Heroes of the Storm or do I go watch a band I haven't seen in 15 years?
Oh, Blink. I did not even fucking bother.
Good,
I went and had drinks.
I didn't go to Blink, but yeah.
Blink was a waste of time.
They put it on all the screens anyway. I learned that during Foo Fighters? I don't remember which band they had one year.
Yeah, they put it on all the screens, and so unless you really care about being in the same room as these people, and
the worst.
Although when they had Tenacious D, that was an in the room experience. You had to be there for that one.
That was the only good.
Tenacious D has been like all of the other bands have always been real bad, but Tenacious D was like so silly.
Ozzy Osbourne would have been good if they'd given a fuck. The problem is he didn't, so he was just a complete waste of everyone's time.
Their concerts, because by Sunday I'm already just like so ready for the bar. I don't want to do any of that.
But the hotel bar is not the place to go after BlizzCon. That is where you will not be able to move. More to the point.
It's hotel rooms.
Says you.
Yeah.
Says you. That is where I've had more drunken arguments with Blizzard employees than I care to think about. I'm like, you guys are doing it wrong. And then next day I'm like, did I mention how much I love your games?
The worst.
How that works.
Lately, that's been getting really weird for me because I used to have this very sort of standoffish relationship with Blizzard where I didn't really have a direct contact with them, and now every event I'm at, I usually end up drinking with Blizzard employees. The last event I was at, I was talking to Mike Morhaime for about 3 hours while terrible rave music was played in the background, and he looked thoroughly out of place. But we had a really long conversation. I'm like, this is strange for me because back when I was a fan site, like with WoW Radio, I would have killed for 5 minutes with someone of that stature. And now I'm sitting there for 3 hours having, a candid kind of conversation. It's so weird. It is really strange, but no, don't go to the hotel bar. Like, here's what you do if you go to BlizzCon. You go to the off-license, or whatever, what do they call them? Like the liquor store? They call it off-license in the UK.
There's an ABC two blocks down the street.
Yeah,
from
go to the ABC.
It's across from the pizza place and the taco place and the Chinese place right down the block. Everyone who goes to that con knows that corner.
Yeah, buy some drinks and keep them in your room. And for the last day, not only will you be the most popular person there, because you want like to bring pro players up to your room, Blizzard employees, you just say, I've got beer upstairs and it's not as loud as this. Done. Easy peasy.
Yep.
It's strange to see how it evolved with so many people. Because I remember back in the day.
Tips on.
It's genius.
Back in the day, it'd be like everyone would go out to the pool, and that's where everyone would be like, yeah, pool party. And then 2-3 years ago, whenever it was, 2011 maybe, they were like, nope, not happening anymore. And that was like the best party. Yeah. And then now everyone has to get into that one bar, and it's like, no.
It's so tiny and just
They
weird
kick you out really early, too. They bring police in to kick you out at some California nonsense law or whatever, where they kick you out at, isn't it like midnight or something?
I think it's midnight, yeah.
2. No, it's 2 a.m.
No, it's 2
Trust me, I know.
right?
Is it 2?
I know it's 2 a.m.
Okay.
2 a.m. is the law across the U.S., I think.
And then after that, all the smokers go outside till like 5 in the morning and just sit outside in their little powwows. And then you're like, well, I can either stay up with you guys and lose my voice as you blow your cigarette smoke in my face, or I could go to bed. I love you, but I'm going to bed. And that's how every BlizzCon ends for me. Every Saturday night, it's like, I'd either stay out with you guys or go to bed. I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
I usually do it both ways. I just say, right, let's go up to my room and drink. And so a bunch of like StarCraft people and Blizzard people go up to my room. And then I was like, I could go to sleep in the middle of that. And then you guys could just fuck off. It's great. So I'm already in my room when I want to go to sleep. It's brilliant. I
can never do that. I'd be like, so is everyone enjoying themselves? This is great. Okay, well, I'll be over here.
It's like, I provided the room and the beer. That, like, I have fulfilled my duty of care to these people, you know? Welcome to the Co-optional Podcast. We do occasionally talk about video games. Our guest this week is, I believe, a 3-timer on the show, if I recall correctly, which usually means, like, he actually talks sometimes. It's JP McDaniel. Welcome.
Is it 3 or 4?
Is it 3 or is it 4? Wow.
I think it might be 4.
I think it might be 4.
All right, TGS Podcast, JP. Let's see how many.
No. Oh, no.
I did 1 but after that.
Yeah, this is your 4th. Oh, shit, it's your 5th. You are... No, it's your 4th. No, sorry, I got mixed up. Episode 31, the Halloween episode. Episode 58, and then Co-optional Podcast 10, which was 5 months ago, so you're on that.
Did 2.
Yep.
What number of co-optional podcasts are we on now?
29?
Are we almost at 100?
Oh, what, counting the 2? Ish. Almost, yeah.
Are we at our 100th episode? Can we just have an episode where we bring on, like, 50 guests and then kick them off immediately? Thanks for coming on, and then boot them?
That would be really awkward production-wise, I've got to say. That would be difficult to handle.
Especially with Skype, yeah.
Yeah. For our 100th episode, I'll get someone on who's actually significant in some way. Present company accepted, of course, JP.
Yeah, there you go. Who's the person that's been on the most?
Krendor.
5 or 6?
Krendor for sure.
Definitely Krendor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he count? He's like the 5th Beatle at this point. He's just in the wings. Like, get him out of here.
Yeah, because the thing is, he also
That's
pops...
funny, I was going to call him Yoko Ono, but that's okay.
he pops onto shows at random, and then sometimes we invite him as the guest. So, like, he was on Co-optional 5 as a guest, 18 as a guest. He was on 23, which I'm pretty sure I hosted. I think either Dodger or Jesse was missing on that one. And then...
It's probably me, because I think that's when the wig happened.
Yeah. And then he hosted 57, but was a guest on 61, was a guest on 51.
Damn!
He hosted 48.
I can never catch up.
Jesus.
All right, I'm happy with 2nd place. I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
It's fine, I don't even care.
That's a distant second. Second. Krendor is way ahead of you, I'm afraid. You're going to have to do a lot better than that, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Jesse, welcome to the show.
Hello there, everybody on the internet. Friendly fellow podcasters. Wow. This week flew by. I don't remember half of what I did. I'll be real honest with you.
Tuesday. What do you mean?
Let me remind you.
Since last Tuesday, the 7-day period flew by so quickly.
Don't worry. I can give you a solid recount. You spent all week making an incredibly lazy Let's Play of South Park and rolling in the internet money that's being given to you in the process. That's what you did.
That is an incredibly fun game.
Mm-hmm. It is. Fun. I beat that in one sitting. It's so fun. It's a great game.
I don't even... I made a video today. So in one of my episodes, guys, I'm going to let you in on a spoiler, but if you if it's not about the game, it's about me. But if you watch the video, don't give it away to the people who don't watch the podcast because they're assholes.
Whoa. I forgot to mute my YouTube. I was going to show South Park footage and suddenly just blowing out was like, epic! Ah! I need to change my intro so that doesn't happen. Oops. Never mind. Please continue. I have now fixed that problem.
Basically, in the last episode, I put on the wrong gloves, and every comment was like, "You put on the wrong gloves! You put on the wrong gloves!" So I made in the next episode, I made a thing about how they're all wrong and that nothing wrong occurred. And basically, the first 5 minutes of the video is me trying to mess with people's minds, and then I have backwards text that says that I convinced them all. God praise the YouTube Illuminati. It's just like all this. So there you go. That's how I play games, guys. So enjoy. And you're all crazy. That did not happen.
I need to start putting the inflatable shark back into my mailbox videos and just not acknowledging it's there. I think it's a way to go.
Just creep people out. Just do things you can do and just mess with people. That's how you do it. That's how the internet does.
That anytime we're talking during our introductions, TB's just like, cool, and now I'm going to watch some YouTube.
But it's his own videos. It's his own videos, too. He's like, now I'm going to watch my own videos. Yeah.
It's the only footage I know that's safe to put on during talking that won't get me copyright strikes.
That's fair.
That's very true.
Yep.
And even then, it could still get you copyright strikes.
Yes, it fucking can, indeed. You know, I was really concerned about putting the Titanfall video out. So here's what happened with Titanfall for me, right? So we emailed the PR company. And the PR company says, you know, we actually have a really good relationship with this PR company. We've got tons of games for them. They're a very big firm. And they say to us, and I assume they were kind of being very, very literal about this because they know that we asked for PC, we're not sending out any early code at all for Titanfall. Yeah. So, like, okay, and I check with a few of my friends and, like, colleagues in the just, like, more traditional journalism, and I find out that's clearly not the case. And I say, so is this just for PC or does this apply for Xbox One as well? And then they say again, no, we're not giving it out for anyone. And we know for a fact this is not true. So it was really, really weird.
That's very strange, yeah.
Yeah, it was really strange. So then I managed to gain access to the game anyway, because when the preload came out, some enterprising young nerd found out it was possible to access the servers directly by using the beta exe and a couple of swapped files. So I'm like, all right, well, I've got to get my video out at about the same time because I want to be competitive just as anyone would be. So I jump in using the hacked exe, and I'm like, you know what? I'm willing to risk my Origin account. There's nothing on there I give a shit about anyway. If they ban my Origin account, I don't care. It's worth it for the exposure. So I go in, and I talk to a couple of, again, my colleagues, and I find out when the embargo is, and I'm like, well, it's funny because I could respect the embargo, but the PR company said that there were no other copies. That means there can't be an embargo, surely. But then I heard that some people had put up footage early and got DMCA'd out the arse, like, immediately.
There's a lot of people that got DMCA'd for streaming it.
Yeah, and they actually, it's one of those circumstances where it's actually right to use that DMCA. That's what the DMCA is supposed to be for. Like, so, if I got my thing DMCA'd, there's no way I'm going to go out and say, oh, well, this was wrong. It's like, because it fucking wasn't, and I knew it.
Yeah,
and I
used to hack DMCA to get it. It would have been bad.
Yeah, and there's no way I was going to do that. So, I said, you know what? Even though the PR company has, this time around, for some reason, and again, I don't know why, because we have a great relationship with them, but every now and again, sometimes PR companies do weird stuff, right? So it's just something you have to deal with. And I say, you know what? All right, I'm going to hit the same embargo that everybody else is. I'm going to respect that. I want to make sure that I don't fuck over my fellow, reviewers or journalists or whatever by putting mine up earlier than theirs. And that's how the Titanfall thing came to be. And I actually spent a good amount of time playing with you, JP, and I spent a lot of time playing with some other people that you played with as well. I think we both played with the same people. Like, we played with Chris and things like that, and it was fun. It was a...
Jesse, you didn't finish what you've been... We started talking about Titanfall. I feel bad.
He never lets me finish. It's okay. It doesn't matter. I'm used to it now. We've been doing this for 2 years. Shit, I'm okay with that. I learned to shut up years ago.
Yeah.
I was about to say, are we moving on to Titanfall? Are we going to talk about that now?
We could talk about Titanfall, yeah.
Wait, can I introduce myself?
No.
Hi,
yes.
I'm Dodger, and you should watch the most recent co-optional podcast, Animated, because it's about my teacher.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, absolutely
That's
should.
all I wanted to say.
Yep,
it's very
Go
good.
on, talk about Titanfall.
Yeah, you should watch the latest co-optional Animated. It's pretty good. We're still waiting on Grenade. Grenade will happen, no doubt, but again, like, people are like, oh, why is it not the Grenade episode? It's like, that happened 4 fucking days ago! Come on! You know, there's no way that he could have animated it that quickly. So, understand how reality works when it comes to these things.
Yeah, there are a lot of comments on that video that are like, oh, I was hoping this was going to be Grenade. And I'm like, could you calm down? Could you, calm your tits for 5 seconds?
It's like, you realize this guy has done stuff in advance, right? You know, it's going to take some time to get to that point.
Yeah.
So, Titanfall. I have yet to play it since beta, and today I even asked on Twitter, because I was like, I'm going to end up getting it. Is it worth it? And I'm really curious because, like I said last time we talked about it, I liked what I played, but I only liked it for a few days, and I was like, well, this is the same thing over and over and over again.
Like, was it the maps? Because it's
no.
Maps in the beta.
Well, I mean, that's possibly it, but I think the overall feeling of it's enjoyable. When you first play, you're like, oh, this is great. There's a bunch of new stuff here, but it's just the same way like MMORPGs, for example. When you play it in the first couple days, you're really blown away by how it's a new thing and you're doing new stuff, and then you settle into I'm down the same road of things I've played before. And I had that sort of vibe with Titanfall, which was okay, once you play enough of the beta, you've played all there is to play in the beta. And so I'm really curious if new things in the live game make the length of playtime. Like you can play it longer than the 2 days I played and was well, that's enough.
I still have yet to play it at all, but I think it's so incredible to watch.
Yes.
I think it's just gorgeous, so beautiful, and that makes me want to play it, even though I don't play those sorts of games.
It's also pretty cool to watch because a lot of the stuff that you do is it has that awesome feeling, and I think spectators enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say, Jesse, definitely pick it up because there's a lot more. There's 14 maps. I think
it's 16, which is
there's more than that.
Really, that's a lot, right?
A lot of maps.
So it doesn't even if that doesn't seem a lot to you when you're sitting there playing and each map is 30 minutes and the rotation just keeps going and you've never I don't think I've seen every single map in the game, and I've probably played 15
I've done the whole militia campaign, and that only has 9 of the 16 maps. There's 15 maps in Titanfall.
15.
Well, this is according to I don't know. There's there's some conflicting information here, actually. Is 15? Yeah, 15. 15 maps.
Good solid number between 14 and 16.
Yeah.
15. Boom.
15 maps. Well, if you compare that to any other FPS that generally comes out these days, 15 maps is a lot. And not only that, but those maps are way better designed because they have to be in comparison to something like Call of Duty, because you have to build routes for wall running and parkour and verticality and shit like that, which is not in stuff like COD. So you've got smaller maps than something like Battlefield for obvious reasons, but it's also a smaller scale game. So the fact they came with 15 maps, that's pretty impressive, right?
With Battlefield, I think, as a person who plays it way too much, I think it's safe to say half those maps are garbage.
Yes.
Many of those maps are just, there's 4 or 5 maps I play religiously because I know them and I like them and they're fun to play. Even the ones where it's just you're inside, I think Locker or whatever that one's called, where you're just running through. Yeah, that one's a blast to play. But many of them, Parcel Storm and oh my god, Dawnbreaker, even Shanghai, the one that was in the beta, that's just all snipers now. It's impossibly unfun to play.
Dice.
And so, yeah, I can appreciate a lot of maps when most of the maps that came with Battlefield, for example, while are huge, half of them are shit.
Yes.
So it's all right.
DICE has got a real problem with their launch maps being absolute tosh. Battlefield 3 was exactly the fucking same. There were very few maps in the original Battlefield 3 that were worth playing. A lot of them were badly balanced, resulted in really awful stalemates, and like we had to wait for Back to Karkand, which was fucking Battlefield 2 maps, before Battlefield 3 became playable, in my honest opinion. Because
that's what they just did with 4. Here's some 3 maps.
3 maps. I'm like, no way! And I'm pretty sure one of them is a port of a port of a port. Like, it's a port of the Battlefield 3 version of the Battlefield 2 map. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me.
I think, didn't they introduce Wake Island as well?
What, for 4?
Or is that
it was in 3. It was in Battlefield 3, but it wasn't in 4, I don't think.
I don't think it's in 4.
They'll put it in. It'll be in like the 3rd DLC or some shit. There'll be a new Wake Island because everyone loves it.
Yeah.
I can pretty much guarantee that. But yeah, I mean, the map design for Titanfall's been blowing me away. There's so really much. Good. You can feel it, and a lot of the learning in that game doesn't come from the gunplay, because the gunplay is quite easy, but it comes from actually getting speed up and learning the maps properly.
Yep. Yeah, they just have parkour elements all over the place. Go ahead, Jess.
No, I was saying, I heard they made changes that I'm really happy about, like the shield, the invisibility shield, whatever that's called, is now bluish tinge instead of that weird invisible thing. So it's much easier to spot without like.
Yeah, probably.
You can definitely get spotted pretty easy, unless you are. I mean, it says it in the actual description of the cloak itself that it's really good against minions and titans and turrets. Yeah. So if you're in a titan, it's very hard to spot a cloaked pilot. If you're on foot, it's actually quite easy to spot a cloaked pilot. And cloak is still useful because it fucks with smart pistols really badly. But a lot more people I'm seeing are now using stim instead of cloak because people are starting to get savvy and they're learning how to spot cloak.
So, TB, I don't know if you might know this, but there's a rare card that makes you permanently cloaked.
Wow, really? I got one that makes you permanently stimmed in addition to your current pilot ability.
Yeah. And this one makes you permanently cloaked in addition to your whatever your ability.
That's fucking beautiful.
So I used that earlier, and the best part is in the game when you're playing on PC, I don't know what it is on the controller, but when you jump in from somewhere, you're next to a wall. If you just hold down right mouse button, you'll stick to that wall, and you can just sit there. So I was above this
you asshole
with a fucking shotgun, just glued to the wall, invisible.
Boo!
People, and they were just like,
disgusting.
Where the fuck are you?
Disgusting behavior.
I loved it. It was awesome. No one. I sat there for the entire round, 20-0.
I got I unlocked the Strider frame. Because you got to beat the first campaign to get the Strider frame, which was a nightmare in the pre-release, but now it's kind of fine because everyone's playing campaign.
Yeah.
And once you get the dash core online, that thing's fucking stupid because dash core is infinite dash and it doesn't have a cooldown either. So you keep fucking hammering spacebar like zoom, 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 zoom. You can't be hit. You're too fucking fast. So as soon as you kick into the dash core, you just destroy everyone for about 30 seconds. It's just brilliant. Like, compared to every other core, dash core is absurdly good.
Do you guys? Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, by all means.
Do you guys prefer being in Titans or on foot in this game?
Since I unlocked the Strider, I think I prefer Titans. Up to that point, Titans are kind of slow, obviously, and a little bit clumsy. But if you get the Strider is really quite maneuverable. It moves faster, it dashes further, and it's got 3 dashes available on it. And it can't take as many hits, but you feel much, much more mobile. Like, you're not just sitting there taking punishment. And I equip it with the electric smoke so that people can't rodeo me. And I use the cluster missile, which is god tier because no one knows what the fuck it does yet. It's brilliant. So the cluster, everyone else just uses
them more explosions, right?
Yeah. Everyone else uses the rocket pods or the lock-on slaved warheads. I use the cluster. So if you fire the cluster at the ground near either enemy troops or an enemy Titan, they don't know what it does. And what it does after it detonates is it then explodes multiple more times. And the Titan, or like you can clean out an entire group of Spectres, or you fire inside a building and everything in the building is dead because it just melts, and no one has any idea how to deal with it. So I've been having a blast with that setup, and I just got the lightning gun as well, the kind of arc cannon for the Titans. So
it's all right. It's not that great.
It's okay. I like it. I like getting nice and close with that thing. You put it on an ogre, and you can get it nice and close, and you can just ruin people's days with it, and then just go nuclear afterwards.
TB.
What level am I?
Yeah,
29.
Okay, so I think I just hit 32 and got the sniper or whatever for like the better sniper for
the Kraber? Yeah. For the pilot? The Titan one.
Yeah, maybe it's not a sniper. It's some laser. I don't know.
We're talking about the plasma railgun. Yeah, you get that much earlier than 32.
It was some weapon I just unlocked it right before like Dark Souls got here this morning, and I was like, well, fuck Titanfall, and I just left the game because I don't even know what it was, but I was wondering if it was any good. But I guess you don't. The
plasma railgun's quite nice. The thing about every gun up to that point is that they all kind of feel the same. The chain gun, the quad rockets, and the 40mm, you play the same way with all of them. Like, you dodge and you strafe, and it's kind of like just being an infantry guy. The plasma railgun charges up when you're zoomed in, and that halves your Titan speed. So you have to basically become a support Titan at that point. You can't go in close, you get fucked. So you change your entire loadout around the fact that you're using this thing. I just got the triple threat grenade launcher, which fires 3 grenades at once.
I think it's fun, man.
It's fun, but I don't know if it's any good. It's silly, like there's grenades everywhere. Here, have some grenades, but I don't know if it's any good.
I got stuck into doing a stupid hardpoint match in the campaign. And so then on hardpoint, I was just spamming the nades into the hardpoint spots. And then no one could ever cap them because they were just always mined or whatever. Yeah. But I haven't seen any other uses for them aside from that.
Yeah, it definitely is good for clearing out buildings. That and the cluster grenades, the cluster launcher can be used to hold down hardpoints pretty well. But hardpoint is also a terrible mode, so you know.
Yeah, it's stupid too because it's the second most popular one. And
people just like what they're familiar with. I think. Guess. And it's like, I gotta play Domination. Like, I can play Domination in 50 other games better than this, you know?
Yeah.
There's no spin on it. It needed a spin. It needed something a little bit different. And they didn't. The Domination is just the same as Call of Duty or a billion other FPS that's just, like, capture points, you know? Not a fan of that mode.
I just don't like it because the whole point of Titanfall is movement. And that actually is the complete opposite, where you're just sitting
standing still. Yeah,
like I sat there and camped for an entire 30-minute match and never moved.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the whole point is movement, and I think like a lot of the complaints that some of the newer players are having about the smart pistol comes down to the fact that they don't fucking move. Like, if you stand still, then the smart pistol will ruin your day. If you don't stand still,
I knew this was going to come up because like I played a lot yesterday after you stopped playing with me, and
I played quite a lot this morning.
And I used the pistol after that.
Yeah, I just don't like JP that much. Like I tolerated his presence for a while, and I'm like,
I can tell.
Yeah,
there's a lot of tension here today. I'm feeling it.
If like, yes, you have to be moving in that game, but like the smart pistol I've played almost every FPS in the past, I don't know, 10 years, every single one. It is the most fucking annoying and stupid gun in any FPS I've ever played. It is just the stupidest. It is a gun built for people that have never used a controller or a mouse so that they can sit there and like look in this little square, and when it goes red, they can click once and it kills someone.
Yeah, but you've got to be terrible to get shot by it, though. Like,
no, you don't, man. You
have to be genuinely awful to die to the smart pistol. I'm sorry.
That's the dumbest rule or dumbest conclusion to this argument ever.
All right, come on. Explain how you are constantly dying to the smart pistol.
If you play someone who's good with it that has a low sensitivity, sure, you can go behind walls, but you never know.
Did you just suggest that there's some skill involved in the smart pistol? So you're saying someone who's good with it, right? Because
yeah, but that just because someone's good doesn't mean that it's not OP. That's another stupid argument.
But its DPS is the lowest in the fucking game. Like, you can literally die to anything else before you can kill someone with a smart pistol. The only reason you die to a smart pistol is if you're out in the open and you're not moving enough so that someone could somehow maintain a lock on you, you don't go around a corner, or you don't go fast enough to break the lock, and then they shoot you. That's how you... every time I've died to a smart pistol, it's because I've been in the wrong place.
An actual debate. Go ahead.
Yep. Every time Every time I've died to the smart pistol, I've died because I've been on the ground moving in a straight line. I have never died when I've been playing it properly, like parkouring, being on rooftops, dodging around corners, using my cloak very liberally, and I've never died to the smart pistol. I died to the shotgun all the fucking time.
Shotgun is very good.
That is a brutal weapon. That is a one-shot weapon that can kill you like that. The carbine is very powerful, and people have started using the Hemlock, the burst fire SMG. That is a monster. I just get murdered by that thing. The three-round burst SMG,
okay.
Hemlock. Yeah. It's a fucking machine. But I barely ever died to the smart pistol. And frankly, ever since I unlocked the Magnum pistol, I only use the smart pistol on bad players that stand around. It's like, oh, okay, I'm airborne. There's a guy standing on this rooftop and not moving. That's a free kill with the smart pistol. Fine. Anything else, it's the Magnum all the way. Because smart pistol DPS is too low to use in like a close-range firefight. And really, it's only good at killing people that are where they're not supposed to be. Or farming minions, which is what it's best at.
It is good at farming minions. There's no doubt about that. I think the smart pistol is bullshit for the following reasons. One, if you're fighting someone and he is sitting there fucking just parkouring all over the place like fucking, I don't even know, a jumping bean of some sorts. You can't really hit him ever. And then the entire time he's just like casually just like, oh, let me click once and you're dead. And then you watch the replay and it's the most infuriating thing you've ever seen because you're like on the other side trying your hardest to shoot this guy and he's fucking just jumping everywhere. Then he just clicked once. He's like, oh, I'm going to go have some tea now. And
good, though.
And I played against a guy who was like 49 yesterday. I think he was getting 50. And at this point, I think he was watching the stream, just trolling me using the smart pistol because he knew I was salty about it. But all he did this entire game was just smart pistol, and he was number one. And the people on our team were not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just too easy to use, I think, is what it gets down to.
Right, I honestly have not seen that many examples of a smart pistol player dominating. The only thing about the smart pistol is because it is so good at farming minions, you get a Titan earlier, and that allows you to get ahead. And that's exactly how I use it as well. I've got creep roots now.
Do you use the upgrade on it that makes you lock on faster?
Enhanced targeting, yes. Because why the fuck wouldn't you?
Why does it need to go faster?
That definitely. Okay, I'm gonna give you that. That should not fucking be there. The range restriction and the lock-on time for players is a good balance, and I think that upgrade, which I will use until they get rid of it because it's optimal, should go. It's a dumb upgrade. You would never choose anything else over that.
Yeah, the other two are extended magazine.
Suppressor.
It's once every 30 seconds.
Suppressor? It's if I've got a successful lock on a pilot, he's fucking dead anyway. I don't need a fucking suppressor.
Yeah. And that concludes our debate on smart pistols.
No, it doesn't.
Let's move on to another game. Jesse, what have you been playing this week?
Fuck you, Dodge it. No. Yes, biggest launch in the last 6 months. Let's stop talking about it. 20 minutes into the show. That's a great idea, Dodger. That's why I don't let you handle the podcast anymore.
Fine. Go on. Keep talking.
I am sorry that you have not played Titanfall, but that's not my fault. And you're the only one here who played Dark Souls 2, so you're gonna have a field day the next half an hour.
This morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quiet for the next half an hour once Dodger and you talk Dark Souls 2. It's gonna be great. But until that time, we will sort this fucking smart pistol argument out.
Okay, you already won. It's over. I won.
No, you didn't. You didn't fucking win. The only thing you got me to concede on, which I think any sane people would agree with, is enhanced targeting shouldn't be in the game.
Okay. Well, I'll win on that point. And,
nerf enhanced targeting or put something else on it. The thing is, the range restriction on the smart pistol, I think, is the best part about it. Because the inherent balancing of it is you've got to get in close to get a lock on. If you get in close, you are going to get either one shot by a shotgun or gunned down by an SMG so fucking fast you can't acquire your lock, right? And if you let someone acquire a lock on you, even in those circumstances, you're bad, and you need to be better at the game. But enhanced targeting kind of breaks that system.
I think all you have to do to, quote-unquote, fix the gun is make someone aware that they're being locked onto.
You could do that too, yeah. And then they could start to
everything, because most of the time I die because all of a sudden they're behind me. They see my fucking head jumping on a rooftop or something or going somewhere. Then they just get next to me and they're like, ping.
You know what the hilarious thing about it is? It's the exact same argument that people use against sniper rifles in any other FPS. Like, they hate dying to something they can't see.
I play Counter-Strike, the op, I'm sure that's got a ton of shit. Like, when I die to an op, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a nice shot.
You are the only Counter-Strike player in existence to say, oh, I died to an AWP, that's okay.
Because I know the skill that goes into it. This is literally...
No.
Oh, come on.
This thing around...
You could shoot someone in the toe with the AWP. You know that.
Of the player. You have to be in general area.
The AWP is a legendary weapon. Like, it was one of the first weapons that anyone ever balanced whined about. Like, it was the original balance whine gun.
I don't even use the op, and I think it's perfectly fine. It's
Get
still...
out of here.
You're just saying that to support your smart pistol argument.
I'm not fucking saying that to support my smart pistol.
I bet I can find a VOD where you are saying, oh, the AWP fucking bullshit. God damn it.
The op is a fucking pinpoint, not a pinpoint. It's much smaller. It's probably about that big on your screen. The smart pistol is a fucking fourth of your screen that you have to be near them to kill them. And then you click once. That's all it is. That's fucking... Like, I have so much salt about this.
Didn't you just describe the AWP in a fucking nutshell?
No.
All out, JP.
It actually uses... The op actually uses skill, because it's not...
Yeah, using the mouse to move your cursor over someone's body is really fucking hard.
No, what I'm saying is there's no cursor with the smart pistol. It's a fucking square in the center of your screen that you have to get on them. That's what I'm trying to get across. I don't know if I did that.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of other lock-on weapons in the game as well. The fucking Archer's easy to use, or the Slave
It's
Warhead.
a missile launcher. Of course it's a fucking...
But you don't have a problem with the missile launcher locking on and generating a huge explosion, but you do have a problem with the pistol locking on. Yeah.
It takes 5 hits to kill him in a fucking Titan, as it should.
It doesn't. It takes 3. You get a fucking Power Atlas in 3 shots with that thing. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, you acquire the lock-on, you fire, and then you can instantly fucking dash around the corner. It's... absurd.
Wait.
You can
So
fire the lock-on. You can
smart
fire the
pistol?
motherfucking missile launcher while cloaked, for God's sake. It's... Jesus.
Oh, God. I think we just have to stop.
No, I mean, I think, again, the way to balance it, I feel, is to take enhanced targeting out of the game and take enhanced targeting out and replace it with something else so that the other upgrades are viable. And maybe give a lock-on warning. I wouldn't give them, like, a lock-on warning immediately, and I also wouldn't allow them to immediately hit the cloak button as soon as they got the lock-on, because I think that would be bullshit. Like, if you are cloaked while someone is trying to lock on you, it takes forever to lock on.
Right, it takes a lot longer, yeah.
But I think it's too easy a counter to just say, oh, there's a smart pistol logging onto me, let's hit the Q button, and instantly the smart pistol doesn't work anymore. I think that's too easy.
Just let it keep going.
Yeah, just let the lock maintain if they do it in the middle of a lock. So, I think that... yeah. But the smart pistol is going to be a debate. I saw loads of people shouting at other people about the smart pistol in the game yesterday. I don't care. You can keep laughing all you want. I'm going to talk about this motherfucking smart pistol, whether it kills me.
It is probably the topic of the day for that game.
My favorite part is that ever so slowly, JP's been like, yeah, we should probably just move on. And you're like,
he's not dead yet.
But
he's not dead. We're gonna keep at him. We're gonna keep hitting him until he stops moving.
Alive.
Oh, God.
Shoot him a few more times with the smart pistol so he quits gaming forever. It's gonna be great.
Dude, I was salty yesterday.
I know, man. It was great.
Some of that stuff on my stream, I was like, well, got to delete that VOD because I don't want people having that for ammunition later on in life. It was bad. It was real
Smart
bad.
pistol is Protoss, you know?
Children are arguing with you, and they're like, whatever, Dad. You died with smart pistols so many times, I've seen the VOD. And then they just leave.
That would be my, I remember when Battlefield 3 came out, when people got really, really pissed off at me for doing the Deadliest Bush video, which was me with it was a shotgun. I put a flash suppressor on a shotgun, hid in a bush, and killed everyone that passed me for 20 minutes on Operation Metro. And then everyone started doing it, and people were like, you fucking ruined this game by doing that. It's the same fucking thing. But I absolutely will make a 90-minute video with me smart pistoling people and just saying, this is a really good gun. I think this is actually really good. Yeah, we should use this.
I will one up your 90-minute video, TB. Make a smart pistol montage set to dubstep, and it'll be the #1 on the...
Zoom in, whoop, 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 MLG mad skills.
Yeah, and make sure you get, you just clicking it once every time.
Yeah, I'll time it with the beat drop.
Like
let the beat drop.
I was going to say you have to. You have to shoot, in rhythm.
What I could do, this is basically the smart pistol.
Yeah, connect that to the PC.
Yeah,
dead? Is it, that's
I must have run the batteries out on the bullshit button. I can't imagine how that happened with the internet. Okay, yeah, but like, could we have like conclusion on not the thing, but Titanfall, like Titanfall in general?
Yeah, good game.
Good game. Yeah. I'll totally keep playing it, and I still think the campaign fucking sucks and is a waste of your time, and it sucks that you even have to play it in order to unlock the other 2 Titans. I think that is a dick move. It's like, we spent all this money on motion capture and voice acting, you better fucking play it! Like, no, it's a waste of time. And the story's completely forgettable. I can't remember a single character that I played with. It was a complete waste of my time. Really bad campaign. Outside of that, it's a good solid FPS, and you were telling me that Capture the Flag is apparently the way to go.
CTF, so like one of my go-to games that still to this day is CTF, Quake 3, and this is very similar to Quake 3 CTF because of how fast you can move across maps. Like, not knowing anything about the map that I was playing on, I parkoured my way across the map and capped it in like 13 seconds or 11 seconds or something like that, which is absurdly quick. And you can also ride in Titans. So you could get out, go grab the flag, get in your Titan, then if you're in like whatever the Strider, whatever the fast one is, you can just like boost across the map in a second.
Yeah.
And just get out and cap it. It's really fun.
Oh, Strider with infinite dash? Meow. Yeah. That would be absolutely
someone did that yesterday to me, and I was just like, like, what is this crap?
That's actually OP. There's no way you could stop a Strider with a dash score. It's not going to happen.
It was pretty nuts. Also, to go back to the campaign, they named a character in the campaign Bish.
And then they deliberately used that.
They laughed the whole time.
Bishop, like, what the fuck? Why do you have to name it Bish?
It's the future. That's a common name like Michael in the future.
Yeah.
Bish.
Bish.
Yep.
Bish Johnson.
What up, Bish?
Bish Smithson.
They use it so much like that too. It's like, Bish, I need a status report. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Game needs a fucking disc thrower. It needs a disc launcher, man. All right. Tribes. That'll be. Why have I suddenly forgot? What's it? What's the name of that gun? Why have I forgotten what the
disc launcher? I thought
it's called. No, it's the fucking fuser.
Oh,
fuser, isn't it?
I wasn't a big Tribes 2 player.
I'm calling it the disc gun, and people are gonna just kill me for that. Spin fuser. Why did I forget that? Yeah, they need to put a fucking spin fuser in the game. Right, they really do. Why? I forgot what a spin fuser was. I should just hand in my PC gaming card right now. Like, clearly I've lost membership to this particular master race.
If that means I win, then let's do it.
No, it doesn't. Smart Pass is still fine. But there's one more thing I'd like to talk about on that before we go on to another game, which is the anti-circle jerk on Titanfall not the most obnoxious fucking thing you've heard in ages?
What are you referring to? Where?
Sorry,
I've only
what?
seen hype.
I'm referring to the massive anti-hype that people suddenly broke out when the reviews came out. Like, a bunch of reviews came out and said, 5 out of 5, really, really solid game, like, basically confirming everyone's hype. And the overall reaction from people on pretty much every forum I read was, no, I don't think it's a very good game. It's just a Call of Duty clone. Like, you've been hyped over this game for fucking months, and now you're just trying to be cool by saying you don't care about the newest big AAA. You are being a bunch of idiots. Stop it. Stop it.
It's the internet.
I was gonna say
the internet is
fair.
just
Standard fare, TB.
Yeah, I know it's standard fare. I really do, but it's so silly. You know who I blame for this? IGN. It's IGN's fault. You want to know why? I went to IGN and I searched Titanfall into articles. I got 658 results. Yeah. A lot of these are blogs, but there's a huge amount of official articles about Titanfall. And it's like, well, maybe this is why people are overhyped for the title, because you won't shut up about it!
Yeah, they're like, could we just stop talking about Titanfall for a minute?
Yeah, I think that's what actually generates. I'm actually going to do a full video on this whole anti-hype thing, because I have a feeling that the amount of coverage that some games get to the point of absolute nausea is really driving this
game
culture.
For the Xbox One. I mean, of course that's gonna.
Yeah, I mean, that's
what else is gonna play on that fucking Garden Warfare? That went real well. That was
although I think I might be guilty of that as like that anti-hype as well when it comes to other games like The Last of Us. Even though I genuinely dislike the mechanics of that game and the gameplay, I honestly think like because everyone else loved it so much, I ended up hating it even more. I was like, why don't you see what's wrong with this? And I ended up hating it even more because everyone was like, it's so great.
But I mean, it's a totally legitimate thing that happens with movies, with games, with everything, where if enough people tell you that it's incredible, you get let down. Like, that's not something that you do consciously, you know?
I think it's something that we've all learned in the past that giving into hype is a very bad idea. Mm-hmm. And when you hear a lot of hype, then you're naturally going to be more skeptical. I think the problem is that a lot of people online take it to an extreme, and they think it's cool to kind of hate on something that's popular or something that's got a lot of good press or whatever. And it's like, no, it doesn't make you look edgy or cool, you know? And I'd respect you if you were just being skeptical, but you're just being a dick. Like, you're discarding, say, if Cessla gives Titanfall 5 out of 5, there's a good reason to believe that it's a 5 out of 5 game, because he's a respectable journalist, he spent a lot of time with it, he's played it way more than you fucking have, and he knows your shit. So, you then go and say, well, man, I don't believe it. Like, who are you impressing here exactly when you say things like that? I don't really get why there needs to be circle jerks and anti-circle jerks when it comes to anything that ends up being popular. It's just kind of dumb.
It's that high school bullshit, TB.
No, it is. It really is high school bullshit.
High school bullshit.
It's like
the
it was the
people
popular
that are typing
kids
that on the internet are in high school.
Yeah, that's actually
bringing high school bullshit to the internet.
Pretty much, it's the same thing. It's like we have our cliques, there's the popular kids, and then there's the guys that hate the popular kids, but their own clique anyway, because they're the anti-clique to this clique, and it's just as bad as the other one. It is absolutely that. It's like, can we not just enjoy video games? Like, that would be good. Leave the criticism to the critics. This is what we fucking do for a living, Let us deal with that shit.
Everyone's a critic on the internet.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah. It's like... There's no need just to post nonsense. If you play the game and you don't like it, great. Tell people why. Be eloquent, be constructive. Then maybe
that's
people
the hardest thing to do, by the way, is to pinpoint why something is bad and to be
yes.
eloquent.
Well, it's actually no. I disagree. That's the second hardest thing to do. The hardest thing is to point out why something is good and why you enjoy it. That's really difficult. Like, think about a game that you've enjoyed recently, and specifically, maybe you've really enjoyed a game mechanic, and then you try and explain why, and then you end up resorting to words like, well, it feels good, It's like
that's what I was about to say, though, is that I think there are more general terms for a good game than there are general terms for a bad game. Like, if a game is bad, it's really easy to just be like, I don't know, it's just bad.
True.
Whereas with a good game, I think there are more vague terms that you can kind of get away with. Like, it looks beautiful. It feels nice to play. It's just like, that's not a thing. Really.
I've tried to move away from that myself, because I caught myself, I watched some of my previous videos, and I've used terms like, the combat feels meaty. And I'm like, that doesn't, that conveys... I think like that conveys the opinion well to the most people who are gamers, if they hear something like meaty combat, they probably know what that means, right? I hope. Do they? You know what meaty combat means.
What does that mean, TV?
Exactly.
Okay, wait, let's all guess. No, wait, let's all guess.
All right, okay. All right.
If I were to hear you say in a review, the combat feels meaty, I would assume that means there's a lot of force behind hits, that you feel like you're very... Get out of here, Jesse. You feel very powerful. Like there's a lot to it.
Yeah, that's exactly that's what it means. That's exactly what it means.
Cool. Then Jesse can
So Jesse's just giggling about dick jokes, isn't he?
There, guys. There's a lot of force. A lot of force behind that meat. The pounding force of that meat is all Dodger can focus on.
Right.
She just
Turns
can't
out I was
get enough.
right, by the way. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. Boo. Turns out I was right.
So when you say meaty, you're referring to a penis? Is that what we're talking about?
No, you fucker. Or in this case, not. That's not what it means at all. No, when someone describes combat as meaty, then it's basically about the weight. Like, it's the weight and the feedback, that kind of tactile feel of the combat. And you've got to then break it down even further, because you've got to say, well, why does it feel that way? Like... Let's take a great example, Meat Boy.
This is just making all of this sexual.
Yeah. Why does Meat Boy
sexual? You said
I'm gonna bring more meat into this
pounding and
discussion.
thrusting.
I'm gonna bring more meat into this discussion, right?
I didn't use either
Why?
of those words.
Right.
I didn't use
Look,
neither of those
look.
words.
Jesse,
Look, the internet-
Jesse,
the
Jesse,
internet
Jesse,
will know
Jesse,
that's what
Jesse,
you meant.
Jesse, Jesse,
Jeff,
Jesse.
just will know that's
those
what you-
words himself. He's just
Stop
like,
talking.
Oh, yeah, I'm trusted. That's
Jesse, you
said it
played
was-
Super
you
Meat
said it
Boy,
was-
right?
It was. Go on, please.
You
please,
played Super Meat
please.
Boy, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you would say that the platforming in Super Meat Boy is really good, right?
I mean, yeah. Normal people would think it was good. I hated it, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. Now a lot of people kind of describe the platforming as slick. It's like, oh, it's really slick platforming. But what does that mean? Like, why does the platforming in a game like that feel good? Like, that's when it goes down to the essence of describing why it is that something feels good to you in a game. And that's where most people, they can't do that. It's like, oh, I really like the combat because it felt meaty, or I really like the platform because it felt slick. Like, but why? Why? That's difficult. That's difficult to describe because you need a real understanding of what makes that happen. And as you were describing combat earlier, you can break it down even further and say, well, the response time between you pressing the button and the move actually executing is quite low, so it feels very responsive. You can say that there was something that I think was about a video I did over a year ago about Neverwinter, and I asked the developer at the time, look, Guild Wars 2 lets you move around while you attack. Why aren't you letting people do that? And he went on and explained that because your character was rooted to the spot and had like a proper center of gravity, every attack animation looked a lot more effectual because you could put a lot more real force into the swing. And as a result, players enjoyed it because the combination of the responsive combat with the animation being kind of rooted to the spot meant that they could deliver some real visual impact in the attack. And that's what made the combat feel meaty. And most people just don't understand that at all.
Yeah, most people just think thrusting and whatever else.
Pounding?
Go on, JP. Is there pounding going on? Yeah.
Thank you, JP. Thank you.
Bit of whipping going on a lot of that as well, I tend to find.
No,
Well-
whipping wouldn't be very meaty if you think about it.
There's a lot of whipping in games with meaty combat. Think about it. God of War, a lot of whipping in that. There's a lot of whipping in Metal Gear
Well,
Rising.
God of War?
He just
Yeah,
uses
there's lots
chains.
of whipping.
Oh.
He's got fucking chains. I mean, they're pretty much whips.
Those
That's
are
flashing.
whips.
What else are they?
Yeah.
They're not real weapons. They're pretty much just whips.
No, I would say if ever there was combat that could be referred to as thrusting, it would be God of War. You're just
No.
fwah, fwah,
That's not thrusting.
fwah. It is.
You are not obviously very
You're
experienced with this whole
thrusting
thrusting
your weapon
thing.
out at the thing.
You're not thrusting it. You're throwing it. It's completely different.
Throwing it means you let go and it flies through the
But
air.
it's attached to your arm. How can you
Yeah,
possibly?
so that's thrusting because you're.
It's not thrusting. Have you ever?
We're gonna get full on.
Right,
motion.
fuck this. I am going to show you combat from God of War 3, and you tell me if the fucking Blades of Chaos look like you are thrusting, because I disagree
Spider-Man
heartily.
is another
You
thruster.
thrust a blade through someone. You don't throw a blade through someone.
Yeah, but he doesn't do that though. His blades are on fucking chains. He whips them around. He doesn't thrust them.
What about Scorpion from Mortal Kombat? Thrower or thruster?
Piercer.
Thrower?
He
Piercer.
is.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that's a
Piercer.
good.
Please. Obviously.
All right. I've all right. Go found some here.
And that's one's for the animation. We're done. All right.
This
moving on.
this right here is where he is thrusting his blade right into someone's face and killing them. But most of the time, he can't thrust his blade because it's on a fucking chain. In order to thrust a weapon, it has to be a solid thing. If it's on a fucking chain, you can whip it around, you can whirl it around, but you can't fucking thrust
But
it.
that's where the meatiness of the combat comes into play. Because
Go
it's very
on.
rare. It's very rare to have such a forceful weapon on the end of a chain. Truly feel that impactful.
True, but why? Can you tell me why?
No.
No. There is actually the actual reason for most of that is that the combat does deliberate micro slowdowns during the actual fight. Have you ever noticed that? It happens in Metal Gear Rising as well.
Yeah.
A lot of the attacks have these kind of micro slowdowns with them because otherwise those attacks with those sort of because they're kind of weedy weapons, right? Like the sword in Metal Gear Rising or the Blades of Chaos, because they're not big, solid weapons, you can't really have that impact. So they do this kind of little slowdown effect, and that makes it feel like there's more impact than there actually is. And even the way that enemies come apart in orbs and power-ups, that's designed to make you feel... It's the Diablo feeling. You know when you smash something and coins come out? It's that. It's that, but translated.
It's true.
So, I mean, there's little things that you can point to that make combat feel that way. And I just don't think most people, either they just don't know or they don't bother to point it out. So whatever, people can't really explain why they like a game. They can just refer to it in really vague terms. And they can't kind of analyze why. I think if people could, then we'd have cooler discussions online. Because then it wouldn't just be, well, I like this game, it feels good. Well, I don't, it feels bad.
Maybe if everyone was as eloquent as the other bigger reviewers, then the other bigger reviewers wouldn't be the bigger reviewers.
True.
There aren't that many like really eloquent people when it comes to games, and those that are eloquent write their stuff out beforehand. I'm not fucking eloquent. I'm terrible. Like I compare my review to something like Cessler's, and Cessler uses words that I've never used in regular speech because like he's a wordsmith. Like he fucking writes his review out. I don't. I say whatever comes to my mind at the time, and as a result, you're a free flowing commenter. Yeah, but that also means like I reuse words. I don't use the right synonyms. I can't use particularly good metaphors because I'm in the middle of talking about it. Like I'd have to think those up on the fly. It's harder, you know?
It's true. It's true. I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so I think
what were we talking about before?
I think we were talking about Titanfall, but I think
by the way, Jesse, Titanfall is... So I've hated every Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2 is the first FPS that is like Call of Duty-esque that I've enjoyed since then. So that should be good enough reason to play it.
Good.
Well, it's a good time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to let Dodger talk for the next half an hour about Dark Souls 2. And JP will probably say it as well.
Yes.
That's another game with some meaty combat. That's good.
Hot meat.
And then you can explain to me why Dark Souls 2 also has meaty combat. You are watching the Corruptional Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back after the break with more meat. Meat. Welcome back to the Eco-Optional Podcast. Game's also optional. Smart pistol, not optional.
You're gonna be really disappointed in me, TB.
Why?
Because...
More so than usual.
He got
more than usual.
Well, one, you started by eating, so that's like 1 point already. It's like fulfilling that motherfucking stereotype that I'm consistently trying to dissolve from the show. All Dodger does is sit here and eat. And it fucking stop! God damn it.
Sounds like a
What's
young
wrong?
child.
I have these. Oh, I'm actually out of Japanese gummy candies. God damn it. That's disappointing. Huh. I was going to start eating those in defiance, but I guess I don't have any anymore. So, why am I going to be disappointed in you this time?
Because I told you that I wanted to talk about Dark Souls 2 because I intended on playing it last night, but the online servers went up and Sam played it all night. So I didn't wind up playing it.
Can you just get Sam on the show then to talk about it? Like, can we just swap out?
Sam, you want to talk about Dark Souls 2 with JP? He's literally... I was telling Jesse that during the break, and Sam was like, quick, come over here, just play it now, just play it now. And I started playing, and he was like, oh god, I'm so worried you're gonna kill me. Oh god, don't do that. No, don't. Oh no. I was like, ah.
Why don't you just, why have him around if he can't be at your beck and call to come on the podcast? I feel like that is his role.
If he's not around to just replace me on the podcast when I'm useless, then what else? What else is he for? I mean, he's working, so.
No.
You're not?
Say, fucking told you.
Come on here.
No.
Here you go.
Yeah, get Dodger the fuck up. You go eat somewhere else and let him talk about Dark Souls.
We want Sam.
Get out.
Yep.
Why?
Yes.
I want to keep playing.
Sam, get the fuck over here.
Oh my
God.
This isn't an argument. You've been called by the podcast.
Huh? What's wrong?
I like how you think there's a choice involved in this. There we go.
He's
Hello.
eating too. Fuck me.
This is what happens when British people come to America.
Off
Trust me.
her as I walked past. It wasn't like
Okay, alright.
Do that.
I hijacked. It was a
Right.
okay.
Okay, so I'm partially
Right.
blaming you for the predicament that we're now in, so I'm now giving you the opportunity to solve that by talking about Dark Souls 2.
Okay.
JP, you've played a bit, right?
Yeah, I played about 3 hours.
Okay.
Sam, would you say the combat is meaty?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No, I wouldn't say that at all.
You wouldn't say that?
Wow.
Interesting. Why
No.
not?
Because
What would you say?
The combat, it depends on what weapon you're using. They've
It does.
buffed strength weapons, so strength weapons are meaty, but non-strength weapons are not meaty because they're not designed to be meaty. They're
Very-
finesse.
There you go. What
Nice.
class are you playing, Sam?
I started as a knight,
Okay.
but I've got like a gameplay character, let's play character, but my non-let's play character is about 25 hours in,
Oh, okay.
and is just strength, pure strength.
Yeah. You said that they buff strength weapons, so are they like OP now, or?
Well, in the first game, strength was really underpowered compared to dex weapons. Dex weapons were like kind of the go-to, but they've kind of like made everything viable. So I just like them because they're fun. You can just smack people up in the air and it's meaty.
I've been playing as the swordsman, which I guess I'm only like 3 hours in, so there's no other real weapons at my disposal yet. But
Yeah,
I feel like the dual wielding is really good. Except
It's
for the
really
fact I
good.
can't block, but it's really good.
it's definitely a more advanced class to pick. It's a lot harder because blocking is really important,
Right.
especially at the early stages of the game. But
Yeah,
it's cool.
I haven't seen a boss yet. I don't know exactly how to describe where I'm at.
Careful on the spoiler front, by the way, with Dark Souls. People get super
but-
upset about that.
Can't even talk
Yeah.
about the bosses, really. How many bosses have you fought 25 hours in?
About 12, 13,
Jesus.
but there are
lot of
40 in total. 40
40?
bosses.
40 bosses,
Yeah.
really?
Shit.
Yeah, it's they reckon it's about, I think someone's beat the game and they were 70 hours. So they reckon around about 70 hours to beat the game in
Holy
one
That's some
playthrough.
fucking content in
Really
that.
excited to play
Yeah,
more.
way bigger than the first game.
What is the kill to death ratio on those bosses for you? How are you handling that?
Do you know what? It depends. They've done it really well because it depends. Every boss has a different strength. Some of them move really quick. Some of them there are multiple bosses. They all have resistances to certain weapons, and so it's like most people in the game will pick a weapon and then they'll like build around it, and that's their jam. And then you'll hit a boss that is just resistant to everything you've built, and then you'll die 40 times and then you'll hit a boss that is weak to everything you've done, and then you'll kill it.
Yeah.
You'll murder it.
I've heard that
What would you?
is like that. Everyone hits a road at him. Go ahead, Jesse.
No, as someone who never had the patience to get through Dark Souls 1, what would you say the strategy then would be to playing? Because I know this is like your shit, man. So how would you? Because would you build around one? Would you build around? I guess strength is your thing. Like how would you build it?
You wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. Like I'm strength, but I have like a small broadsword, which scales with strength, which is a quick weapon. So if I need, and then it's in one boss fight, for example, I had to take all of my armor off, put on my small sword, and then just roll around all over the place because I just couldn't get out of the way of stuff because I was too fat. But yeah. I'm having loads of fun. PvP went up last night, and I was up till 4 in the morning just killing people.
What?
So-
how does that work? Because I'm told that
they
now,
change
even
it?
when you're a hollow, you can be invaded, right? Like pretty much in any
You can
circumstance.
be invaded. The chances are slightly reduced if you're hollow, but it's still very much a thing. You can get invaded if you're hollow. There's also items that you can wear that increase the amount of times you get invaded and the frequency you get invaded. So if you're really into PvP, you can just put all the stuff on and just constantly fight stuff.
So
And
what
I-
is the
there's-
what's the deal with the Blue Covenant thing? 'Cause that's like they help you or something fight when you get invaded, right? One of the covenants in the game.
So there's a covenant called the Brotherhood of Blood, and they're the invaders. And they just invade left, right, and center. And in order to protect players that probably wouldn't consider invading, I guess it's because they let people get invaded when they're undead now. They need some form of protection. And so the Blue Covenant is designed, it's the same as the invaders, except they get moved into worlds to protect the owner of the world and kill the invader.
So it's real people.
It's real
not
people.
NPCs. Oh, okay.
It's real people.
So if I get
the-
invaded, there's a chance that someone will come and fight with me. That's a real person as well.
Will come in to protect you and kill. Cool. So if the red dudes are coming to kill you, the blue dudes are there to protect you, and they're all players.
That's pretty awesome. Sweet. Have you encountered a lot of that in your 25 hours, where you're seeing both people come in to help you and also fight against?
I am my character off my Let's Play is a Brotherhood of Blood. So I'm a red dude. So every time I go to kill someone, the blue dudes show up, and it just ruins my day. It's fun. It's fun.
That's great. That's great. One of the cool things that I found in the game, only 2 hours in the main town, there's this big statue next to I think it's next to the Blood Covenant guy. And you walk up to it, and it's got a death counter of
worldwide deaths.
Worldwide death counter. And like I would wait like 5 seconds, and like 30 more deaths have happened.
I think the Xbox 360 one's at 300,000.
That's now? Where I was on PS3. It was like 380. Yeah.
Well, Xbox players must be way better because
I guess so.
I think it's a lot less. But yeah, I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool to see that. Again, the dual wielding, I think they really nailed that. And how much of Demon Souls did you play? Did you play a lot as well?
Yeah, I played all of it.
Would you say it's safe? And again, you've played a lot more, but it seems like they took everything good from Demon Souls and everything good from Dark Souls and put it together and made Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
That's what I heard as well, like the fast travel and the way the hub world works. Yeah. That sounds good to me. I gotta be honest, like I preferred Demon Souls to Dark Souls. I beat Demon Souls. I didn't beat Dark Souls, and it was more like that I just kind of got bored of Dark Souls, whereas Demon Souls I was like hooked the entire way through. So I'm hoping Dark Souls 2 is more like Demon Souls.
There's a lot more story and lore to find, and one of the gripes people have with it is that in order to progress in the game, you have to pretty much exhaust dialogue with every NPC.
Yeah,
so
I've noticed.
If people watching are going to get the game, you have to make sure you grind out the talk button and talk to everyone, because otherwise you'll just get stuck. But there's some really interesting characters. There's a lot of references to the old game.
Yeah, we're back. We've got everything sorted out the way it's supposed to be. It's all in the same order. That was interesting and really strange.
Sam was still talking, and then I lost audio. I'm just like, oh, God, what's going on?
Yeah, the whole thing fell to pieces. All right, anyway, what were we talking about prior to that?
I was saying there's a couple of reviewers who have slated certain NPCs in the game that have turned out to be really, really important and fundamental to the lore and stuff. Okay. So there's a lot of people, I think if you don't come from a Dark Souls background, you might overlook a lot of stuff.
It's I'm dreading doing my video on it. I really am. Like, I have beaten Demon Souls, and I feel pretty good about that, and I thought it was a really good game. I've never beaten Dark Souls, but the community that's built up around Dark Souls is fucking unforgiving as shit when it comes to people that don't get it. Yeah? And to be fair, it's a hard game to get. It is not a game that presents itself in the way that most games do. And as a result, what you find in that game relies an awful lot on how much you are willing to look for it. And some people just will never get it. Yeah? And I think there's a lot of legitimate complaints you can bring up against Dark Souls. The problem is that a lot of those complaints are usually just slandered by the community surrounding it as saying, well, no, you can't say that about Dark Souls because you haven't played 700 hours of it. You're not a new game plus 7. You haven't done all this shit. It's like, look, no reviewer in the universe has done what you've just described.
I mean, the go-to insult,
you know,
for the Dark Souls community is to call people casuals. That is like their go-to insult.
Yeah.
If someone does something wrong, they're like, yeah, you fucking like casual.
Like, don't expect people to be impressed by the fact that you spent 700 hours on one video game. That's just kind of silly. Like, I personally like my variety. If I don't play at least 10 different video games a week, then I feel bored, you know? But yeah. I know I like Dark Souls 2 because I love Demon Souls, but I'm terrified of saying even a single fucking thing about it because of the backlash that I could get on that.
I mean, one of the good things about this one in particular is it's very non-linear. Like, if you get bored of an area, you can literally just go somewhere else. You can kind of branch off anywhere you want from the starting town. I think I was speaking to Northern Lion, and I mentioned I'd killed a boss at level 15, and it was really difficult. And then he told me he hadn't killed it till level 90 because he'd gone a completely different route to me. Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Slowbeef just described it really nicely.
Change things up. Yeah.
Like, because Slowbeef's done a Let's Play of it, and I know an awful lot of people have, but Slowbeef sums it up as this. He says, Dark Souls doesn't hold your hand and forces you to learn the blue tear stone ring, you idiot. Like, but what about the learning? You just said about the learning, but you're doing it wrong. It's like, but you're supposed to learn yourself, right? Isn't the whole point of Dark Souls to learn yourself? That's why everyone says, do it blind, do it blind, do it blind. But then you go and shout at people for doing it wrong? You can't have it both ways, motherfuckers! Pick one! You know?
This is why they don't force you the law. You know, it's another thing that you optionally find out for yourself or don't find out for yourself. It's all up to the player.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Depends on how much you want to really go into it. Because like you said, if you're not exploring the dialogue options, you won't get this. Or even I created a character, then recreated it, and I found probably 6 things in the first 2.5 hours of the game that I didn't find the first time through.
Yeah.
So I like that it's got that much.
I made 2 characters, and I went through, and every NPC I spoke to on the first character, I butchered on the second character, just to see if there would be any kind of cause and effect.
You can kill the person that levels you up, right?
You can. Yeah.
That does not sound like a good idea.
You up in the game.
I think she gives you a few humanities or something, but yeah.
That seems like a really bad idea.
There's a couple of choices you have to make. Like, for instance, there's an NPC, and he's I won't give any spoilers, but he's crazy. He's seemingly crazy. Obviously, he has a use later in the game, but this NPC is sitting on a chest, and you don't know what's in the chest, and you have to decide, are you going to kill the crazy guy and look in the chest, or are you going to leave him? Is he going to be useful later? So they put all these things in front of you and make you make choices.
I love that kind of stuff, and it's also the kind of thing that I would say I would want to avoid the wiki for. For Demon Souls, the UK version of Demon Souls actually came with a guidebook. Like, the special edition they brought out there came with an art book and a guidebook. And I tried to avoid that guidebook outside of one bit that I just got completely fucking stuck on and couldn't do it. You know, and I eventually found out through the guidebook. But it's a very intimidating game to a lot of people. And it is a game that is best kind of experienced, but the problem is the internet can't lay the fuck off. Like, it simultaneously says it's a game best experience kind of on your own without any guides or anything, but can't stop backseat gamering every fucking person who's trying to play it. And I'm just like, look, if someone is failing at Dark Souls and they're not blaming the game for it, then fucking let them fail. The whole point of the game is to fail over and over again and learn from those mistakes. If you're fucking terrible and then you start saying the game is a piece of shit or whatever because of your own fault, then I understand saying to that person, look, you're doing this wrong, this is the way to do it. But when someone simply does something suboptimally, it's just like the fucking Hearthstone community, they're terrible for this as well.
Yeah.
Whenever you do something suboptimal.
Play Dark Souls in offline mode on their when they do their Let's Play, just so they can shut some of that out.
Yeah. I would not ever, like, even if I was a Let's Player, in no circumstances would I ever Let's Play Dark Souls.
It does create like unique situations, but it's also incredibly annoying because people will just do it to troll you nonstop.
Yeah. You can't say something like the Dark Souls community is really nice, though. It's like, no, there is no Dark Souls community. Like, again, that's imaginary. There are Dark Souls communities, and then there are people that just play Dark Souls and are dicks about it. And there are people within those communities that are dicks about it, and then there are people that aren't. You can't just, like, broad stroke one way or the other. But what I can do when it comes to broad stroking is tell you that the internet has a backseat gaming complex, and there are certain games that attract that more than others. Dark Souls is definitely one of those games.
And it's so funny with Dark Souls 2, because, like, I was streaming it today, and everyone in the chat's telling me to do I'm not reading it, but I know that they're there telling me to do all these things, and they've never played the game. They don't even know. They're like, go open that chest, go get that item. There's a cool sword over there, and I go and get it. It's like a potion or something that's not even remotely what they say it is. They just say it to think that they're backseating at the same time. It's a weird...
Well, I mean, in Dark Souls, there are people that actually get legitimately mad when you kill certain NPCs, like, because there's some kind of ridiculous meme mythos kind of surrounding them, and it's like, oh, you can't kill that guy. You know, it would be like killing Bird Jesus in Twitch Plays Pokemon, because they built up some ridiculous fucking Mei mythos surrounding it, and now they get personally offended every time that happens. And, like, fucking go outside. I'm not the kind of person that says that very often, but go the fuck outside. Praise the fucking sun out there, you know?
Yep. Jesse, were you trying to say something? I don't
think he was trying to say something.
I felt bad because you were like, and then I would just jump in, so.
Oh no, I was laughing at Mei. I thought that was very cute. That's my inclusion to this conversation. I probably will watch someone else play. I'll probably watch a Let's Play of... I actually went and saw Sam's first episode, because I was like, all right, I'll watch this, because that's most games where I can't be asked to like suffer through it. I usually, God bless Let's Players, I'll go watch and be like, all right, let's see what this is.
Someone else
and that's
suffer. Yeah.
The problem is that
suffering,
when it comes to story,
ooh, I hate that guy.
One thing that I didn't like about Dark Souls was I didn't realize the amount of in-depth lore. So I saw it. I wish I could remember this guy's name. I want to give him all the credit.
Are you talking about Epic Name Bro by any chance?
Maybe
He's kind of
made
or Vati Vidya.
Vati Vidya as well. Yeah, I actually
watched
watched
like an entire series.
I watched almost everything.
All the lore.
Yeah, I watched almost everything Epic Name Bro did about Demon Souls. I actually watched a lot of the stuff about Dark Souls as well, and the lore's really intriguing. Because I kind of got to the point where it's like, I'm not going to beat Dark Souls, and I don't have the drive to go and play it. But I want to know about the lore, because hopefully in Dark Souls 2 I should be able to jump back into it. But there's plenty of really interesting lore surrounding that. But can I just point out, there's a guy in chat that I personally hate. Real Kleiner. My hobby is to backseat game people who play Transport Tycoon Deluxe. Fuck you, right? I love Transport Tycoon Deluxe, and the fucking internet ruined that game for me, because I would never do an episode on it, because it doesn't matter how good that game is, and the fact that I've loved that game for over 10 years, because I can play it and I can do pretty well at it, but I don't make these fucking ridiculously complex optimal train routes with 40 tracks overlapping and signal systems and everything. I can't do that. I don't have the ability to, and I don't have any desire to. And the fact that I didn't do that means that you will fucking shout at me. I want to have planes carrying wood across the sky because it's cool, not because it's optimal. And you people ruin everything. Stop it.
The min-maxers.
Fucking
when it
stop
comes to Dark Souls 2, has there been like a big advertisement push? Because I vividly remember Dark Souls ad campaign, because that thing was freaking awesome. That was one of those.
The launch trailer's terrible for Dark Souls 2. I don't know what they were thinking with that one.
The commercials, which were like, you're gonna die.
Yeah, and I get the whole, hey, you're gonna die kind of thing, but the latest one is actually dreadful. Like, it's a lot of really bad kind of machinima, and it really shows some fairly poor animations overall, and I was really not impressed by that. Like, compared to, remember the Bartholomew trailer for Dark Souls? That was fucking great.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Like the Dark Souls trailers were incredible. Those were fantastic. And I haven't even seen anything about Dark Souls 2, like on TV, or anything like that. It's interesting.
Well, I mean, I don't watch TV, but I've definitely seen pre-rolls for, on YouTube and things like that. Yeah.
The actual game intro is amazing. They could have just used that, and it would have been fantastic.
It's actually extended in the trailer for that you've probably seen, TB. The full game has a lot more in it that's really cool.
Yeah. Some of the Dark Souls ads are not too great.
They're not.
But someone just mentioned Banished. Like, yeah, you're fucking right about that one. Like, most of the comments for my video, and like, I didn't criticize the game because it was bad. I criticized it for like some other reasons. They're like, oh, well, he's just bad at it, so we can't say this. Fuck off.
Well, it's one of those things with backseat gamers that you have to realize that they're always going to think they know how to do it better than you. So you pick and choose the comments that will help you in the way you're going to play. At least that's how I've learned to deal with it, because you're right.
But the problem is you can't. Like, this was the thing with Hearthstone as well. I used to read those comments for advice, and I realized 3/4 of it is bullshit, but I can't distinguish between the bullshit and the good stuff. Because a lot of the arguments are really, really difficult to figure out. It's like, well, I know, it's kind of like that, it's that Good Burger thing. Like, I know some of those words. It's kind of that. Or it's like, well, that doesn't sound right, but I don't know enough about this to disprove it, That's the real problem with something like, it's Dark Souls as well as the same kind of issue. It's like, oh, well, this, and this. We're like, well, I'm not in a position where I know whether or not your argument is complete bullshit or whether you're actually being sensible.
No, this is how you handle it. You do what I do. You get comments like on a South Park episode, like, you forgot to loot that baby. And so I go back and I loot the baby, but there's no loot on the baby. I was like, you guys just wasted my time. You wasted all of our time, internet. And then I don't have to do it again for like 7 episodes, and I'm good. That's how
I'm surprised. Like, that seems like a really interesting attack vector. If I was someone that watched your videos on a regular basis, I'd deliberately post that stuff as often as possible just to see what would happen.
Well, but it's only things that I care about. Loot, for example. I was like, oh shit, wait, what? So I went back there, I was like, you ruined it. You ruined it for everyone. We wasted like 5 minutes there, internet. 5 of your life minutes gone. And that's
another problem with Dark Souls 2 is you can leave the orange messages, and because of the first week of release, the amount of troll messages I've already encountered.
Yeah.
treasure ahead, and it's just a boss or something.
Yeah.
The portion in the near the very beginning for me was, you like walk down this flight of steps and there's a chest there. Then you see like a glowy item off in the distance, and the reflection on the ground in the water shows that it's solid ground. But if you jump off, you just die. You just sink to the bottom and die.
What?
And when you go around and go up the river, you actually see that it was just like where the light was hitting it, or what they were trying to do.
Dickheads.
It looked like there was something there.
Yeah. They've added they've got so many monsters now that play dead until you walk past, or they drop down from places you can't, that are in your blind spot, and so you're constantly just getting like attacked from behind, from the sides, when you thought you were in an empty room.
Yeah, I walked into a room in a hallway, and when I got to the apex of to jump down, two guys like spawned behind me or something and just ran me through.
But did they spawn, or did you just not notice
I don't
them?
know if they spawned or they jumped, like he said.
They're like lifeless. They look like lifeless corpses.
Yeah, but they are there.
Just stand up. Yeah,
because that would actually, like, if an enemy just spawned behind you and killed you, that would be bad game design. If it was something playing dead that you just missed, that's something that you could have seen if you were being super cautious. And that's like the whole Dark Souls design philosophy, which is why I love the whole series. That even if I didn't beat Dark Souls 2 and didn't play a huge amount of it, Dark Souls original, I love Demon Souls, and I love the philosophy behind the game design. I really respect that. Unfortunately, the philosophy has also generated some people who are complete dickheads about it, but I suppose that's to be expected on anything that's remotely hardcore, you know?
Well, I seem to recall a conversation about clicks earlier, and this is one of those situations where the people who are really good at Dark Souls think like we are the best at Dark Souls, and we're very good at this game, and we are gonna judge if you're good enough to be in our little clique of good people at this game. That's what it comes down to. It's like,
could I not be in that clique? Like, that sounds like a really boring, smelly clique.
That's not how it's decided, though. You're either in it.
You don't get to decide. They decided you're not in it.
Oh, yeah, that you've just been included, like, against your will. Like, let me the fuck out of this neckbeard room.
The game even reinforces that a little bit. For instance, the Blue Covenant you join is actually called the Covenant of the Meek.
Yeah.
And it's like the Covenant for cowards. Whereas
that's
going to
generate some shit.
So if you join the Blue Covenant because you want to help people or protect people, then the game is calling you a coward. The game itself, which just reinforces the player's views.
Yeah.
I would think
you've got to admit it's a very unique culture that's sprung up around that game, and I find the culture intriguing, even though it's very annoying at times.
Yeah. So I guess to jump back into the game a little bit more, is magic still as OP as it was in Demon Souls, for example, or did they tone it down at all, Sam? Because like it could be used to own boss so easily.
It can't do that anymore. They've made it like a lot more balanced in the sense that magic attacks faster, but it's less. It's not as strong. You know, you can't just you can't go one hitting people.
Because Soul Arrow was just like the most broken thing in Demon Souls. If you had the tools for it.
Yeah, that
you could
was
just like one shot
silly
stuff at the start. It was really annoying. But
yeah, I think a lot of the big spells are called hexes now, and they require faith and int. So you have to like really gimp yourself in like the strength and dex department in order to be good as a sorcerer. So it's cool. There's way more builds you can have now. There's whips in the game and all kinds of stuff. You can be Indiana Jones if you want to be.
So, I mean, it all sounds great, and I'm waiting for the PC version. I will not play it on console. I'm sorry. Not even Dark Souls ran well on console. Fucking Blighttown was a joke.
It doesn't look anywhere near as nice. The PC version is going to look unbelievable.
Here's hoping the PC version actually runs well, and they've learned a lot. Because if we have to go back to modders fixing shit again, then I'm not going to be too happy with that. But I'm just going to probably avoid any kind of Dark Souls 2 sort of discussion until it comes out. I'll play it on PC. I don't even know if I'll make a video on it. I probably won't. Like, I might even just make a video that is nothing but settings.
25th of April.
Yeah, that's how long you got to wait for it. But I might just do that. It's like, here's the options. Here's how well it runs on PC.
Here's the FOV slider.
Which it won't have. End of video. Done. I refuse to talk to you people about Dark Souls. I refuse, because I'm not subjecting myself to the bullshit that's going to come from you.
What a coward. TV is a giant pussy. You can't even play the game.
I am part of the Covenant of the Meek. Covenant of the Meek.
TB, but imagine the views you'd get if you did your first ever Let's Play of Dark Souls 2 on the PC.
Fuck that.
Oh my god.
I have said so many times that people are dumb for doing that. Dark Souls in particular is a kind of... I don't know, actually. I don't know if Dark Souls is a worse game, blind LP, or a better one.
Yeah, Sam. Idiot.
Fuck you, Sam. No, I actually... No, strangely enough, I actually think Dark Souls is a better thing to... Doing a blind LP of Dark Souls is kind of cliche, but I think it has more value just because watching somebody discover that stuff for themselves can actually have some sort of value to it, you know?
That's the entire reason people stream it. It's
also really entertaining to just see people break down as well.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this game does it a lot, too.
I think that there's a lot of people that they want to either watch you to see you fail or watch to see you succeed, yeah? And they get equal enjoyment kind of out of both. If you succeed, then, like, everyone wins, you know? Everyone feels like... It's like playing craps, you know? Everyone wins or everyone loses. Like, there's kind of no middle ground there. But it's enjoyable either way.
Dark Souls 2 is craps, guys.
Dark Souls 2 is crap. TotalBiscuit 2014. There's your quote. There you go. Take it.
Back in the box.
Take it. Post it out of context. Make Reddit upset. Go.
All right, I'm bringing her back.
Great. Sam, thanks a lot. Thanks for the discussion.
Sam.
Much appreciated.
Now I just want to go play some more Dark Souls.
I keep getting kind of tempted to go back and play Dark Souls, but I think, you know, at this point it's just a case of I am just going to wait for Dark Souls 2 and I'm just going to play that clean. I'm going to avoid the internet with it. I might not even make a video on it, and I'm going to see what I think about it, and I'll most likely just focus on the PC port. Because I'm going to be honest, when I tried to do Dark Souls, when I tried to do my video Dark Souls, it was a fucking disaster. It was one of the worst videos I've ever made. I had no idea how to properly critique Dark Souls. I couldn't do it. So, yeah, we'll see. It's a hard game to critique properly. And the problem is that if you critique it from the perspective of someone that's played for 700 hours, then your perspective is irrelevant to the vast majority of people. So, yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Talk about Diablo more?
Diablo!
Out of that, too.
Sure.
I'm talking about Diablo.
So I beat it, which is something that I didn't do previously. Because
Oh, really? You never even got to the end?
No, I didn't bother. I got to Act 2 and then quit because I was bored. But
so did you enjoy that story, TV?
The story's fucking shit. Holy
God. Real bad.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
The worst. Just the worst story.
It is a waste of your time. But there's some nice environments, though. Act 4 in particular's environments are really cool. But no, I played through, and with the XP boost, plus a lot of gear, plus playing the whole thing on hard, I hit level 57 in one run. And then hit 60, obviously like about a third of the way through Act 1 on Master Mode. And now I'm thinking Paragon level 3, and I'm thinking of moving over to Torment Mode, but with my Monk, I'm having a couple of issues with some of the Elite packs on Master that I think I just need more optimized gear for before I move up again.
As someone who plays in Torment, you'll never be able to fully take on those guys unless you have Torment gear. Like, you need to bump up where you're playing in order to get the gear in order to beat those guys in Master. So you might as well just suffer with everyone else in Torment and watch out for all the spinning shit while you get stunned and shit's coming down from the sky.
Are you liking being a monk? I love being a monk.
Monk, yeah, I think that's the right class for me. I actually decided to roll a monk after you said play a fucking monk, so I played a monk, and it was the right thing to do. And what build am I using? I use my main damage source as Wave of Light, and I have some gear that buffs Wave of Light, and it hits like a fucking truck. Like, they hit for 190,000 damage. I have the rune that fires it out in 8 directions. I got a legendary headpiece from the end boss that reduces the cooldown on Breath of Heaven by 50%, which means that's a 20,000 heal, plus you ruin it for 10% damage, and that usually lasts 9 seconds, so usually you can't have it on all the time. With 50% cooldown reduction, yes, you fucking can. So you can permanently have that heal going, and because you have that many heals, it makes it much easier to survive in kind of close quarters with some of these really big elite mobs. And, I know that you can go a lot higher than that. I've got 7-sided strike as well. I use 7-sided strike as my big, I want to kill this one fucker right now, so I'm going to press 7-sided strike and just go to town on him. But I know you can go a lot higher than that with great gear and really high Paragon levels and, kind of scaling up from that point. But yeah, And I'm running with the Templar as well, with the heal and the charge and things like that. And yeah, I mean, it's been a lot better. The looting experience has been a lot better. The difficulty was much better balanced. I died a couple of times on hard, and it felt like there were some packs that I had to really think around. Now on master, I definitely have to think around them. But I don't feel like I'm being gear gated. Like, I think that I can beat these packs if I'm good enough. Like, if I move at the right time, if I heal at the right time, and all that kind of thing, that seems to work well. And that's what I was looking for in the difficulty. So
I'm kind of enjoying very rarely getting loot.
Yes.
Because before, everything gave you gold or gave you useless stuff that would fill up your inventory. Yeah. And I really like how pretty much everything that I pick up, I can... What?
Nothing. I think it's funny that now, like, once you start playing Torment, it's a like end game problem for me. But once you get Torment, everything that's yellow becomes the white stuff. Yeah, it's just like so much fucking yellow just drops, and your inventory is filled with it because you're like, well, I can disenchant this.
The blue's the white stuff.
You spend hours trying to find one legendary, and it's just like nothing else. 90% of it is junk, and you're just looking for that one or two items. So you're just going back, gotta do this again, which is fine because that's the point of. I mean, that's the point of Diablo.
Well, I mean, that's what adventure mode's built for. In RS,
have you done that? By the way, have you done adventure mode?
Well, no, because it's not available yet.
Did you do it like in the beta? Did you try it in the beta?
I didn't play the beta.
Dude,
I haven't played it
adventure mode is
That's the
awesome.
way to play. Yeah.
Yeah, so it puts you in the maps that you already have, and you have the teleporter where you can go to like the overworld map and teleport to different locations. And on that map are 5 hunts or bounties or whatever I guess they call it, and you have to go to those locations and do certain things. Sometimes it's go kill this boss. Sometimes it's go to this one area and cleanse it of whatever. Sometimes it's find a specific named monster or whatever. And once you do all that, you get items for that, plus you get rewards, and then you even get things like blood shards, I think they're called. I don't remember what they are.
Yeah.
And then you can use those to buy items, but they're always random, and you don't know what you're going to get.
It's very WoW, like, in that respect. Like, it seemed that they took the WoW daily quest concept, but it kind of works for Diablo because, honestly, once you've beaten the game once, you don't give a shit about the story anymore, and you just want to go to the places which will give you loot drops, and up until this point, you've not been able to do that.
And it works. Oh, it's so much fun. And then if you play enough, you get, I don't remember what they're called, but 5 of them unlocks a gate that sends you to basically an area where it's like, there are 500 mobs in this area.
Is that the Nephilim Rift?
Them. Yes.
Yeah, those randomly generated dungeons, yeah.
And literally, it's just kill things and get loot. And there's always, at least from what I saw, always at least one legendary in there. So if you play long enough, you at least get one legendary as a reward. And it was always something I could use, which was great. Playing through the game from in the new like re-release patch 2 or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Going through the story again, I got legendaries, but they're all shit. Like for a demon hunter, I'm like, my wizard does not need this at all. Why is this?
And that was back then. That was okay though because of the auction house. Like, you got that legendary, you went and sold it. But now it's not okay because obviously they're taking the auction house out, so you can't do that. But if you need to trade, they've got the new community and clan system in, so you can group up and say, all right, has anyone got this? And then you can just trade internally the way that Diablo always was back in the day before the auction house came in and ruined everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
And I feel like there's so many games that I've been playing where they just inundate you with stuff. You just have so much. You have so much gold, you could pretty much buy anything you want, so you don't really care about gold anymore, or whatever the currency is of the game. And like, say you're playing a game that has guns, like Borderlands, there are just guns dropping all over the place, and you get so...
Shit.
You get so irritated trying to go to all of the guns and be like, how does this pistol compare with my pistol?
And it had such Borderlands had such a limited inventory for guns as well. It was fucking infuriating to deal with that.
It's like 17. Really obnoxious.
Yeah.
So like, not only was it really nice because my inventory didn't have a whole bunch of unnecessary stuff, but it also made me feel like I actually was hunting for things. Like, walking around dungeons and things, I got to actually,
you know, really try and find where the stuff was because I cared about getting that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I did not have that feeling whatsoever the first time that I played.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I started over too. Same as UTV. I started over with a Demon Hunter. I've never played a Demon Hunter before, and it's been pretty fun.
Yeah, I got to the point that I've got to at this point now is why I'm kind of. I still don't like the skill system all that much. Like, I think the skill system and the progression in something like Path of Exile is a lot better. But I am seeing the value in, because the gear is much better itemized now, I can get a piece of gear that gives me like 20% on a skill, and I'll suddenly change my entire build around that piece of gear. And that means that I'm experiencing different things. I'm thinking, all right, well, so I've got this boost. How can I create a build around this piece of gear? And I'll be using different runes, and I'll be using different skills. You know, Wave of Light, I didn't use... For 90% of my first run, I used the kick instead of Wave of Light. Then I got items which boosted Wave of Light. I got 3 items, basically, that all boosted Wave of Light, and I'm like, you know what? I should really start using Wave of Light. And then that kind of became my primary thing. And I never used Breath of Heaven either, until I got that item that ridiculously buffed Breath of Heaven. And it turns out that, you know, that was a good way to play, especially in Master Mode, because Breath of Heaven is a very powerful heal. And I thought, well, okay, I've had to change this around now, but now I've got to think about how my spirit is generated, so I might have to switch some stuff around there. So yeah, it's, you know, it's pretty cool.
I am surprised, though, how easy hard mode is, though.
Hard mode.
Yeah, I only died like twice on, and I think it was in the final act on a really hard pull. But aside from that, yeah, hard is not that difficult.
It's
if you play on expert and just go through it from level 1, you'll level up really, really fast, because it's challenging, but it's not hard, and so it's
people just take more hits, and that's like it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the elites have more abilities. That's the biggest difference. Every time you rank the difficulty up, they get a lot tougher to kill, but it's like, oh, this is arcane and explosive and vampire and fucking freezing pulse, fuck you, all that kind of stuff.
That's gotta suck for melee. For wizards, it doesn't.
Yeah, it really does.
Great.
Yeah, any sort of
pretty
range.
harsh. Yeah, it's pretty harsh. But the thing is that you get a lot of dodge, and like I have the dash ability, so if I see that go down, I dash out, or I use 7-sided strike, which makes you invincible while you're doing it, and all that kind of stuff. So, it's doable, and I'm worried about launch, because as someone kind of snarked about in the channel, but you know, it still has a valid point, it's still online only. And while it's not laggy now, I don't know if it's going to be laggy on ROS launch. It could very well be.
There's no way. From the amount of people that were playing Diablo 3 at launch compared to the expansion launch, I don't think it's even comparable. Like,
probably not.
That's like billions compared to probably millions at that point.
Yeah, that is true.
But we'll see. They've probably got all that sorted where it won't. That was what, 2 years ago?
Yeah. I heard rumors, you'll have to point out if this is right, that on single player now you don't get lag the way you used to. Like that they've set it up so that they minimize the server, but I've heard that maybe isn't the case
I have
anymore.
No
idea.
I don't know. I haven't gotten any lag when I've been playing this time around.
I've had no issues. I think probably those who play like hardcore mode or anything like that are most likely going to be the most sensitive to that kind of issue.
Totally.
But currently, the games where you can play hardcore kind of all have that issue. Path of Exile has some really bad desyncing problems and has had it for a while, and it can really kill your fucking character if you're playing hardcore. The 2 main games that are being played on hardcore, like high difficulty right now in that genre, are Diablo 3 and Path of Exile, both of which are online only. So, unless you want to play Torchlight 2 with a mod, which you can do, there's the Synergies mod is really, really good, then you're kind of lacking in choice for that genre right now, unfortunately. And I don't like the fact that both of those games are online, but at least Path of Exile has a fucking excuse. It's free to play.
It's true. I'll never understand why they want Diablo online only.
Well, it was money. Originally, it was the DRM and all the, we're going to stop you from like
duping items,
things,
meaning that they couldn't ruin the auction house.
I'm actually glad duping isn't there. Like that, I think
that never bothered me in Diablo 2 because I never played it on LAN, so I never interacted with hackers.
Online it was just nothing but like dupe.
Yeah.
Like, It was so dupe that a fucking item became a currency in Diablo 2. It was
Yeah,
how many
SOGs!
Yeah.
to trade for something. Like, that's how bad it was. But
That's
I'm
funny
glad
because that actually
Man.
inspired Path of Exile's currency system. That's the
true.
cute thing about it.
The trading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's no money in that game. So
I can't get into Path of Exile. I think it just looks like dog shit. I just think it
Oh,
looks
it's so fun.
it's really good. So
I know
basically,
the
you're wrong,
gameplay
JP.
and everything is, but it just looks so bad, especially like compared to Diablo, which I think is pristine in how it looks.
Yeah, but it's not supposed to be pristine. It's Diablo. Path of Exile looks dirty and fucking miserable, and it's
I want
supposed
to play a
to.
dirty game to go play a Wii game. Like, what? I don't want to fucking play a bad.
Do you not play Diablo 2? What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, but that was 10 years ago. How old that was?
Yeah, but this is shinier, that.
It's shiny, dirty, guys.
Exactly. It's fucking higher resolution dog shit. It's supposed to look like that.
Yeah.
But no, I can't actually see why people wouldn't like the aesthetic of Path of Exile. There's
Well, I mean, I originally, I tend to judge games based on if the game looks old, and I don't necessarily mean to, but like even with, was that game One Finger Death Punch?
One
Is that
Finger
what it's
Death
called?
Punch is amazing.
That game is so fun. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Great
but
game.
when I first opened it up, I was like, this looks like a dang old Flash game. It looks
Yeah, it
real
does.
dumb.
Well, Silver Dollar Games have made some absolute horrible video games for Xbox Live Indie. Like they're the
That
scourge
doesn't
of like.
help.
No, it doesn't. And the assets, like they said on their Twitter, we literally had no money for art, so we drew it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had no money, and then they released that game, and it was just so good. One Finger Death
like-
Punch is something everybody should buy that. It's so good.
Oh, I
Here's
totally
the problem
agree.
I have with that game, and it angers me, is that the trailer for the game has the most badass, like, ninja rap song I've ever heard in my entire life. The game does not have that music. I was like, I want to play this game so I can kick guys in the face, listen to this, like, yeah, ninja, kick them in the butt. Like that. I was like, this is great. And then it's like, it's just standard Asian-y music. I was like,
It's not
boo.
standard. The composer's really cool. You should go.
Doesn't
look him up.
matter.
He's got
It's
some
not.
amazing
It's
songs.
not ninja
I never
rap.
saw the trailer you're talking about, so I didn't.
Oh, the
I didn't
trailer-
suffer that
The trailer's
same fate.
great. The trailer's great. It's like, yeah, ninja rapping, quick snapping, bodies breaking them.
I really like.
Fantastic.
I never thought I'd say this, but I really like how many games are coming out that are really fun to play, but don't take a lot. Like One Finger Death Punch is literally a game you can open up and just be like,
Bam.
click, click,
What
click,
is
click, click, click,
this
click, click, click.
Everyone's been
Oh,
talking about
gosh.
I have
It's
no idea.
amazing, is what
It's
it is.
basically like the best form of a stick death game ever,
Yeah.
where you're one stick man and you are beating up all the other stick men.
What's the
And it's
mechanic? Like, what
great.
is it? Just do you have to hit people to the beat, or
No, there is no beat per se.
With the special stickmen, you kind of have to rhythm
Yeah.
it a little bit, but it's
So it's
side
just-
scroller on both sides. So you're in the center, and then side scrolling, you have all of these stickmen coming at you, and once they're at a certain distance from you, you can click either left or right, depending on which side they're on, and attack them. And once you combo enough, then you're able to do really cool moves, and there are all of these specialized stick figures that show up that take more hits or throw you into
weapons.
different.
There's
Yeah.
weapon pickups
Oh,
as
the
well.
weapons are so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The weapons are fantastic. The first time that I picked up like that big bludgeoning thing with like spikes all over, just,
Yeah.
I was like, this is so
I love
great.
I love the bow. It's awesome. I got the perk for the bow, which lets you fire 3 shots when you pick it up, and you could, because the bow obviously just fires. Normally, if you click when someone isn't in range, that counts as a miss. Like if you spam the button in that game, you die. It's a game about
Yeah.
precision. Every click matters.
I'm really bad at that.
Yeah, you have to. You
Whenever
definitely have
there's
to
a
get
dude
that.
coming up that has like a 5 under him, I'm like, oh no.
Well, the worst thing is if he's a 5 and he has the dodge, so it'll be like, oh, he's gonna dodge to the side when you do that, and then
Yeah.
you just gotta get good at reading that stuff, and then you get into this kind of mind, this rhythm in your mind. It almost is like a rhythm game, but without like being to the music. It's about the rhythm of the combat, and
I'm watching footage of it right now.
it's
You
so
get in-
good.
There's
My
a
family
shit
calls
ton of
that the
stuff going on
Tetris zone.
screen.
When there's
Yeah.
a game where you can just like kind of get into a weird zone, you can
Yeah.
get into the Tetris zone with this game.
You
for
can,
sure.
yeah.
What is
You
the
feel
best
amazing.
score you guys have had?
Huh?
What's the best score you guys have had?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
I've perfected a
okay.
bunch of levels.
Oh,
but-
okay, so it's level based. Is there like an
Yeah.
endless mode?
Yeah, there is. There's a survival mode.
Okay.
And there's 3
So it felt
difficulty
like
levels as well.
3,000
So.
top the score, so I was like, well, maybe that's good.
Yeah, there is a survival
Yeah,
mode.
there are like weird boss levels where there's just like a super bulked up dude, and that's
There's fucking
that's all you're
lightsaber
at.
levels that are just there for the hell of it. It's like, here's a lightsaber, murder people,
Yes.
go. There's actually quite a lot of different difficulty modes and actual game modes as well in this game, which is cool. And they keep mixing things up with new perks and weapons and enemy types. It's so responsive because every time you click, something immediately happens. Yeah, and it is the most responsive combat as a result. It's really cool. I love it.
Oh, I might have to check that out.
Yeah, it's $4. It's so good.
I told Kiske to link in the chat the trailer so everyone can appreciate how great the music is. Because it got me so psyched. I was like, is this the entire game? Oh my god.
And then they let you down.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant game. It's well worth it.
Can I bring a joke back again?
If you wish.
The combat feels very meaty in this game.
See, it does look pretty meaty in what I saw. Like,
There's
a lot of weight.
It's one of those games where when you're
meaty.
attacking, you are just like hauling ass, like just
what it looks
killing people left and right. You feel awesome.
I think you feel like it's more, instead of like a big bruiser that's kind of just smashing everyone out of the way, that you feel like a ninja. And the game makes you feel like a ninja because it's so quick, and every action that you take has such an obvious and immediate reaction. That's why. And like there's hit sparks coming out everywhere and combos and awesome stuff is popping up on the screen. It's like, you're awesome, keep at this kind of thing. And you just get into this zone, it's like super combo, mega combo. And once you trigger that, you can kind of fly kick all the way across the screen and hit this dude over the other side and then go right back and pick up a weapon and throw it. And like,
it's very, it's like the way that Jackie Chan fights in all of his movies where he's very opportunist and just like uses his environment.
Yes.
That's how you feel when you play this game.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is awesome.
What's wrong with that, Jesse? He's
Nothing.
What's wrong?
What's wrong with Jackie Chan? You don't like Jackie Chan?
Fucking Jesse.
He had his
Racist.
time. He had his time. He's washed up.
Oh,
Get him
damn.
out of here.
Oh, damn.
What are you, one of the
Jesse,
Jet
no.
Li? You a Jet Li fan, Jesse? Is that what this is all about?
He's washed up too. There's a new guy. I don't mind. The guy who's in Ong. The guy's in Ong Bak. That's my dude.
Oh,
That
he's
guy's a freaking
Ong
beast.
Bak is so good.
What is that?
Ong
Watch
Bak
it.
is
It'll blow your mind.
a lot. Basically, there's very little. Well, there's basically no green screen in that movie, and most of the stunts are done by the guy himself. And as a result, it is a very visceral, very fun.
ANGBAHK?
ONG
No, there's no H.
hyphen BAK. Ong Bak. Very,
ONG.
very good kung fu
Someone
movie.
Steals the.
Ong
And there's
Bak.
also a 2. Not as good as the first one.
Yeah, 2 is probably not as
but-
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rank
Oh,
that
yeah,
right
that's
up
what it
there.
is.
Thai Warrior.
Yeah, I'd rank that right up there with Kung Fu Hustle and Ip Man as some of my favorite kung fu movies, I think.
Yeah, those.
Oh, have you guys seen Man from Nowhere? That movie's
Yes.
fantastic.
Oh, that movie's awesome. Yeah.
I
That's
watched
such
it
a
with
great movie.
actual real Koreans because I needed to.
Real life ones?
Yeah, real life ones. Yeah, I had my team captain was over for we had him over for New Year's, and I said to him, "What's a good Korean movie?" It's like Man from Nowhere. So we watched it on Netflix, and I kept asking him to explain. So like, why is this way? And he's like explaining all this stuff, like the way that
I thought that would be so cool.
the way that the kind of pawn shop system worked in that, where the guy initially, like, he explained how all that worked, and it was, I mean, it was a great movie. Every Korean movie I've seen, I've actually liked a lot. So, and I still haven't seen Old Boy, and I need to see that.
What's the Raid? Have you seen The Raid?
I've been told that's amazing, and I've also told
that's
it's
an incredible movie.
Yeah,
it's basically Dread, though. Like, it's very
like,
similar
it's
to
an
Dread.
hour of just death,
It is.
I think.
Power of Death.
If you want another movie that's really ridiculous because it has ridiculous scenes, but it's a Tony Jaa film, it's The Protector.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is
Good. I've actually-
very silly.
That's
Like
one
a
of my
man
Protector
throws an
films.
elephant at one point. It's
Yeah,
very
that's
silly. But there's a scene that is filmed and it's mind blowing. It's one take of a fight up a series of stairs in a building that is not cut or edited, and it's just the camera following him as he takes on like 100 dudes. It is mind blowing.
Old Boy did the same thing. Like, a lot of those did the whole one take thing. A lot of John Woo movies, I believe, did that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I've still never
That's a movie,
seen-
that's a reason to watch that movie. It is
I need
fantastic.
to watch Old Boy, and apparently the remake is fucking shit.
I've heard-
Don't watch the remake.
Wait, did the remake already happen?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it did.
It's so bad that no one talked about it is what I.
What?
Yeah. it's like a waste of time. Like, there's no need for that movie to actually be
We
released.
can't even
Keanu
talk
Reeves?
about Old Boy at all. Like, look.
No, if you want to watch something with
Keanu
Keanu Reeves in it, go watch Man of Tai Chi. That's a good fucking movie. And Keanu
Boy,
Reeves being evil is
2013.
hilarious.
No way. No way. I didn't realize. I didn't know.
Oh yeah, got like
Got, like,
Samuel
hand-
L. Jackson is in it.
Yeah. There was no reason to remake Old Boy at all. It completely stands the test of time, and it's not even that fucking old in the first place.
Yeah.
So,
I
you do
wonder.
not need to do that.
I'm so curious to know if they followed the manga or the other movie.
Oh, they followed the movie and then made it Americanized. It is not.
50%.
Oh, it's the exact same thing.
In other words, fucking
Almost.
They said
Yeah.
they were gonna follow the manga instead because it's a totally different story, and so I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. I'll want to watch that." But if they were like, "No, just kidding. We're just gonna do the movie again," then
Hollywood ruins everything. You know,
Hollywood ruins everything.
Yep.
That is true.
American TV, fucking phenomenal. Serialized dramas, best in the world. American film, bullshit.
real bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really bad. I don't watch that many American movies these days. I go out of my way not to because other countries just make them better. I've been watching a lot of Chinese stuff lately. It's actually great. I still go back and watch my 5-hour version of Red Cliff on Blu-ray.
That is a fantastic movie.
That movie. Yeah.
That's my
Brilliant
shit.
movie.
Not
Now,
the Red-
that's how a fucking epic used to be made, with real fucking actors and bare minimum CG. I'd rather watch that than Pompeii any day of the fucking week.
Did that movie come out?
Man.
Yeah, it's out. It's been
Is
banned.
it? Oh, I thought that it wasn't out yet.
Oh, that is just. I feel bad. I feel
think
bad for
300
Jon
is out
Snow.
now too.
Here's our CG volcano killing our CG people and melting our CG town, and here is my CG giving a fuck.
Yes,
Is Red
JP?
Cliff good? I've never heard this. This looks pretty good.
Which one?
Red Cliff is
Red
it's
Cliff is
basically
brilliant.
Dynasty Warriors the movie. So
Well, yeah,
if you like
it's
Dynasty Warriors,
Romance of the
you will love it.
it's the Three Kingdoms. It's the actual retelling of the Three Kingdoms.
Should watch.
it's
Oh,
only-
interesting.
Yeah.
It's only one part of the overall saga. It's like one.
Yeah, because the thing's
specific
fucking
battle.
huge.
Yeah,
But even
And
that,
so it's-
the full version of Red Cliff is 5 hours long. I saw the one at the movies, which was 2.5 hours, but I got the extended Blu-ray, which is the full 5 hours.
It's on
And-
Netflix.
It's kind of like
Is it on
it's
Netflix? I
kind of
don't
like
think so. I don't think so.
It is.
it's like the
Is it?
Romance of the Three Kingdoms
I don't think
Battle
that's-
of Midway kind of deal, where it's
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
turning point of
It's what
the
it's
entire
main
saga.
point, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's like a very big thing there. And
Mm-hmm.
dude, you have to watch it. It is amazing. It's
I might
really
now
good.
that True Detective is over, I need something else to watch.
I haven't seen True
is
Detective,
so
but I heard
good.
it's so
True
good.
Detective is so good. I can't even talk about it. Down. No spoils. Down.
It's like the best acting I've seen in a fucking very long time. It's an incredible show from start to finish. It's only 8 episodes too. It's best show. It's good.
Well,
Welcome to the
that seems like a good time to go to the
Podcast.
break. And when we come back, we might talk about more video games. I think we'll do news and releases and then wrap the show up. And then I've got to go and do Unfiltered for an hour and shout at Thorin. That's going to be great. So we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the, I suppose, final 45 minutes of the Co-optional podcast. Maybe even less than that, because I'm going to have to jump ship to another more popular show. No, it's
Wow.
far, far less popular than
Wow.
this show, but far less popular.
Just to clarify, I'm more popular.
Just to clarify.
Very
JP, I'm
Kinda
surprised
big
you're
deal.
not saltier about that show. It's like, I used to run a
like,
much
that's-
larger StarCraft show
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
name of...
but it's used to, meaning I don't want to anymore. So I'm
No.
gonna let that happen.
It's funny, actually, because I heard people say, oh, well, I hope they don't talk about StarCraft the entire time with JP. So it's like, what is this, 2010? Like, JP doesn't give a shit about StarCraft anymore.
I know.
Can I just bring up a point that I think should be reiterated from our last conversation about the music in our previous game discussion? The rap song is so good, I quote the following lyrics. I'm in a kung fu stance. Black belt holds the low pants. Hi, ni hao. Can a ninja get a table dance? That's the lyric. That's how good that song is. I was so excited for that music. None of it.
Well, that's Silver Dollar Games in a nutshell right there. It's weird
What
because,
if
like I
that's
said...
like, sorry, I was about to say, what if that's like the end boss theme? And you have to play the whole
that's
game
the
to get there.
case.
And you've got to fight on
I'd
a
play the
table.
whole game.
What it means,
played the whole game.
Table dance is just a metaphor for the epic kung fu confrontation that will occur.
That is an amazing lyric. Can a ninja get a table dance? I'm sorry. It amuses me.
You remember
good rap lyrics are good.
You remember when I said about Double Helix that I was like so happy that they finally made something that wasn't a piece of shit?
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
What
Silver
happened?
Dollar Games is that times 20. Because they have been making awful indie games for Xbox Live for years now, to the point where there's been videos made about them calling them the Scourge. And they're just awful. Like, they have a game called Advanced Rock, Paper, Scissors. They have a game called Learn to Eat. There's one called Try Not to Fart. Why did I buy this? Like, there's a video called Why Did I Buy This? It is apparently just, like, not even a game. And there's a bunch of those really annoying girl games where they, like, hired some Z-list actor who was probably one step away from porn to answer questions, and they filmed it and did the kind of trivia thing. Everything they have made has been awful.
I was
Everything.
gonna say, I can't even piece that together into a legitimate game.
No. Well, neither could they. Trust me. But
What's going on?
however, they then made One Finger Death Punch, which was phenomenal, and like the only game they've ever made, which is actually good. And everyone's like, "Oh, we hated you before you made this, and now like this, you've actually made a really good game, and we respect you for that." And I'm just like, I hope they make enough from this game to actually be able to make further games that don't suck. Because they have really been bottom feeders for a long time when it comes to making games. And they can't be proud of anything they've made, with the exception of One Finger Death Punch, so...
It might be.
Yeah. I hope that this is their Double Helix moment, and everything they make from here on in is going to be great and awesome. I doubt it.
I wouldn't expect that.
No, I don't think so. But at least we'll
I
hopefully
can
get...
see that happening with Double Helix because, like, at least they feel a little legitimate.
Yeah.
I don't get the same feeling from this.
I don't know. A company that made a game called Try Not to Fart probably doesn't have much credibility in the first place.
Or why did I buy this?
Yeah.
Really?
The dignity went out a long time ago on this one.
It's like one step backward from Adult Swim games.
It's a long, slow path to redemption, is what this is. And it starts with One Finger Death Punch. Mark my words. Mark my words. Let's talk news.
Okay.
Let's do news.
In the news.
Well, we could start with Hearthstone going... It's launched. It actually just came out.
It launched.
Wait, does that mean I get to redo my cards now?
Yeah, what does that mean?
No.
Like, is
Yeah,
anything...
there was only one wipe.
They didn't wipe it this time.
Yeah, there was only one wipe. They did the wipe in the middle of the beta, and then they said they'd never wipe again. Something you don't really want to say in polite company, but...
I'll never wipe again.
Exactly. So, you've got...
This is in polite company.
And this is not polite company at all. But no, they have now... It's weird, because it was in open beta, and now they've said, oh, it's out. I was like, well,
Yeah, so what does
it was
that mean?
out
Like,
anyway...
is it just them? Why don't they just make an announcement saying, we've removed the title open beta from Hearthstone?
Because it's released is...
It's live.
Did they
Also,
change it? Is that
here
like-
are
live anyway.
some Twitter icons for you.
Yeah.
If you want them.
Wait, did they really release
Facebook
it?
cover photo. They actually put Twitter icons and Facebook cover photos up that you can take.
I don't.
World?
I'm not going to advertise your game for free. I already do that enough as it is. Give me money if you want me to do that. Come on.
But if this is
So-
your entire identity, if Hearthstone is literally all you do.
So wherever you got an open beta, that's where you got an open beta.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's the same. So like, if you load up Hearthstone right now, I would imagine, I don't want to do it now because it'll deafen people, then it's going to be exactly the same. They put a patch out today, which has some changes, like
like new art or graphics or something?
Well, they finally put the gold portraits in. But what annoys me is they didn't do it the way I hoped they'd done it. Because they've been promising for the longest time to do gold portraits if you got to a certain point, and everyone's really excited about that. They decided, you've got to play ranked and win 500 ranked games. I don't play ranked, I play only arena, so I fucking hate them for that. I was like, I already have like hundreds of arena wins. It's like, oh, play ranked. No, I don't want to play ranked. So apparently I can't get them that way.
You gotta start grinding those games out.
I don't want to play ranked. It's terrible. The only time I play ranked is when I like play my troll decks and like legendaries and things like that. So yeah, they put those in. They're introducing card backs. Oh, this is a ranked play reward as well. Fucking stop! Like, why are you devaluing arena players so much? Arena players actually have to give you fucking money for the privilege of playing that, and you're giving us nothing. This is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. You telling me I can't get these card backs unless I play ranked? Fuck off.
One thing you can get for winning 3 matches is the Heartsteed, which may be the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, some WoW mount? Yeah.
And Warcraft. Oh my god.
Wait, there's a new WoW mount playing Hearthstone?
Yes.
That's fucking dirty.
Integration, JP. It's all about doing this. They're all connected.
It's called synergy, man. Synergy.
Yeah. I feel snubbed, I gotta say. I feel snubbed. Like, I play Arena, and I've paid a lot of money into Arena, and apparently, no, you can't unlock any of these rewards in Arena. You've got to play Ranked, which a lot of people don't like. Like, Arena mode is just more fun than Ranked. And this seems to me like they're incentivizing Ranked because people want to play Arena instead, and they don't like that. That bothers me. Not happy about that. But they also made some balance changes, which are basically based at the pro level. Because if you watch the Seat Story Cup this weekend, which was it was a hybrid I wouldn't even call it a hybrid tournament, because it was just 2 separate tournaments slapped on the same stream. That was StarCraft 2 and Hearthstone. Nat Pagle, overpowered as fuck in competitive play. Really overpowered. So they've nerfed him, and they kind of nerfed Tinkmaster a bit. They changed him around, so you can't target the minion that you change into either a 5/5 Devilsaur or 1/1 Squirrel, but they also gave him, like, +1 stats as well. And they put Reconnect in. Thank God. There's a Reconnect feature. Yeah, that was needed.
Yeah, that's a really good feature to add in.
Yeah, you got 60 seconds to relog and get back into the game. So that's really important in Arena, because if you disconnected, it counted as an automatic loss, which was really bad for Arena play. Apparently they fixed some bugs as well. But yeah, I suppose it's good that it's out now. Apparently there's they were mentioning some kind of adventure mode that might be coming in, some kind of maybe single player mode. Yeah,
a campaign, a card campaign,
tutorial or something, or
well, I don't think so. They still don't have full screen window in that, which is kind of weird. But you know they're putting achievements in as well, which I couldn't give a shit about. But the thing that I'm now interested in is them actually putting new cards into the game. I want to see a new set.
Do you think they'll do that off of, like, expansions, or like, because it's all free to play, right? So they can't charge you for an expansion of the game. So is it just like, all right, we're going to throw 30 new cards into the mix?
Some people are claiming that Arena does count. I have seen no evidence of that. Like, ranked play is just regular play. I'm pretty sure Arena does not count. So
I would go answering what JP was saying. I would assume that it would all be free, but, like, again, you would have to buy packs in order to get the actual new cards.
That's how every other TCG's done it. They just release, basically, they say, this is the Dark Portal set. You know, the way that WoW TCG did it. Like, the first set after Heroes of Azeroth was through the Dark Portal, and it was just, they just released new boosters. Simple as that.
You just buy the boot. You just buy.
Yeah, you just bought
or that specific.
Yeah,
specific expansion.
The weird thing about Hearthstone right now is because there's only one expansion. You just buy a pack, and a pack's a pack. But in every other TCG, once a new set comes out, you just buy the pack for that set.
But you think they'd put a premium to that and make it a little bit more than the regular packs?
No, I don't think so. That generally,
it's all random.
Yeah, it's all random. No, I don't know of a card game that's ever done that. Most of the time, the boosters are always the same price. So. Yeah, it'll just be $1.99 for 5 cards, the same as it was previously. What's going to be interesting is whether or not you can choose which set when you do Arena.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say next. Like, are they going to, with ranked and with the Arena, do you think they'll differentiate the different ladders according to what cards people have unlocked?
I don't think they differentiate the ranked ladder, unless they decide to do blocks. But if they do blocks, it'll be several sets before they do that. So I think that they'll just introduce the new expansion. They'll put maybe 100 new cards in or whatever. Unless they do it the way that Scrolls did it, where they added like 2 or 3 at a time, which I really don't like. I much prefer the idea of kind of just throwing the floodgates open and say, here's 100 new cards, go! You know, apparently, interesting. Might and Magic Duel of Champions, the new expansions cost more than the regular ones. That's a fucking dick move. I haven't played much of that game, and I certainly don't want to if they're going to do that.
Cheaper by a couple, and I can see why.
Yeah, I mean, if you compensated by making the older cards cheaper, so that people can like fill their sets out easier, then maybe, yeah. But there's not.
I guess you can only do that so many times though, until it's like 30 cents for a pack or whatever.
Well, if everyone's already got the base set, then why the hell not? But yeah, they would definitely integrate the ladder. I would think they wouldn't make separate ladders unless they decided to go with the block format, whereby 3, there's maybe the base set and 2 expansions is 1 block, and then you move on to the next block. That's kind of the way that the WoW TCG did it. It's how Magic does it, and you play within the current block. But we don't really know where it's going. It could work that way, it might not. And Arena's going to be really weird in that regard, because eventually there's going to be so many cards available that Arena drafting is going to be very difficult. So I have to imagine that at that point they'll say, oh, you can draft in this set or this set.
Very difficult in the sense where it's all over the place.
Well, yeah, there'll be too many cards. You won't be able to get the right synergy going, because it'll be impossible to draft at that point because there'll be way too many cards in it.
How many cards are there in Hearthstone right now?
I don't know.
Hundreds?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google it. I don't know how. All I know is I own all of them. But how many cards are in Hearthstone?
You own everything.
Yeah, I have every card. I crafted my last card yesterday.
Ask.
Oh, you
don't ask that.
We don't want to know. We don't really want to know in the end.
Well, TB, is that what we're getting at?
You do not understand how successful
Are you keeping
my
them
series
alive
has been.
single-handedly?
You have no idea how horribly. This is like Jesse's South Park series. Like, it's purely a case of, I know this is easy money, so I'm going for it right now, and I love the game. So here, have some YouTube money. That's what Hearthstone is. Like, it's just infinite YouTube money. So don't even ask. Like, I put a lot of money into that game, but the amount that I've got out is absurd. Anyway, Hearthstone has 465 playable cards, but only 382 of them can be collected. So basically, the rest of them are generated by other cards. So when you play like Druid of a Claw, it either is a cat druid or a bear druid. They're separate cards, but they can't be in your deck. So there's 382 collectible cards in the game right now.
And is that including like the promotional ones that you get for like attending BlizzCon or what?
I assume so. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you look at the numbers, like, it would kind of make sense, because there's been 2 promo cards, that being what's his face? I can't remember his name. The gnome, the 6/6 gnome that summons random invention. Mechatork,
Tinker.
yes. Yeah.
Man.
Mechatork, and then the Elite Tauren Chieftain. So that would make sense. And there are... How many legendaries? Well, there's 27 neutral legendaries in the game, and there's 9 class specific.
So what's next then for you? Is it getting every single, like,
gold?
Whatever the chrome is?
I can't be asked for that shit.
Okay.
Just having access to all the cards means that you can throw together some really interesting gimmick decks for entertainment purposes, and that's really about it. But I want the new expansion to come out so I can start collecting more cards, I've got...
Yeah, totally.
Doing arenas right now is just for the results. Like, the rewards are completely useless. So I just want the stats.
We might not even want to spend time on this, but I'm just interested in owning digital goods like that. Does it irk you at all that you have 390 cards that it's all... Like, you'll never be able to play with them or anything like that?
Like Kaiser Soze, they're gone.
No.
Not real. Not real.
I collected, what was it? I forgot what deck it was for Magic cards back in the day. And I never even played a single game with them. I just collected the cards. But the reason I did it is because I could like put them in sleeves and like sit there and like, oh, this art's very cool, etc.
Take up so much space and time. I only have that collection because I really like Hearthstone. And when I get bored of Hearthstone, I'll just leave it. And I don't care, There's all sorts of games that I put quite a lot of money into that I just don't play anymore, and I've never really felt like I've lost in that way.
Well, if you're spending X amount of hours a week, then certainly not.
Yeah, I quantify it by this is how much enjoyment I got. Let's split the enjoyment down by an hourly basis. And I don't like yearn after it. I know that, especially with like World of Warcraft, a lot of people like get really invested in their characters to the point where they feel, oh, if I leave, then everything I've done is for naught, right? But I've never really thought that way, so it doesn't really bother me.
Interesting.
But I definitely see why some people would. Like, oh, you spent hundreds of dollars on virtual cards? It's like, yeah, the sunk. That's that. Thanks, A Desperado. It's called the sunk cost fallacy. Is the term that describes, well, I have put this much money into it, so I can't leave now. It happens with gambling as well. It's like, well, I've thrown $200 at the machine now. I've got to put some more, and I got to get it back. It's a terrible, terrible
I have to
fallacy.
stay here long enough that I at least get something back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could quit Hearthstone tomorrow, and I'd have just said, yeah, things went well. It was a fun game. On to the next one. No big deal. And God, I spent hundreds on PlanetSide, and I don't play that anymore. And I don't really mind. It's like I have pretty much every gun I could ever want in PlanetSide, and I, don't care. It's cool. No big deal. I enjoyed PlanetSide while I played it. And I'll probably go back at some point. That's the nice thing as well. It's like, that there's always something left to come back to. It was like with Mighty Quest. I quit Mighty Quest for like 6 months, and I'd bought a bunch of blings, came back, like, oh, the game's a lot better now, and I got a bunch of blings. Let's buy some boosts. Let's fucking go.
Oh, yeah. Are you still playing that?
Yeah.
I raided Castle like a week ago on stream.
You got wrecked, didn't you?
Well, yeah, there's just traps all over. I'd never seen.
Of course, there's traps all over it.
And I was like a level 6 going into your castle. There's just.
Oh no, JP, no!
Don't do that. Do not. You'll die on the first thing. The
stream was just like, go look at TB's castle. Go look at TB. I was like,
I only have 12 creatures in my castle. Like there's
the entire floor was just traps.
Yeah, it's the most effective way. Like when they changed the way the aggro mechanics worked, the best way to do it is small pulls in narrow corridors with lots of traps. That's the way you kill people. Yeah. I thought you just gimmick it. A huge amounts of people have just like all they've done is a narrow corridor with a bunch of spring traps into 50 fire mines, which instantly kills you. It's like it's designed to catch idiots off guard because it'll never catch you twice, but you lose your crowns on the first loss. So that's all that really matters to them. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't even matter if they beat you afterwards because they'll get less crowns back than they lost to you, most likely. So, yeah.
What level are you now, JP?
I have not played since last week. I think I was up to... I got the Runaway, whatever that... I think that's the newest class to 14 or 15, something like that.
I'm level 22. I think the cap is 30. It gets really slow after 20. It's fucking slow.
Really?
Yeah. Even with boosts, and I run with boosts pretty much all the time, it takes forever to level up at that point. So if you're the kind of person that perceives that as a grind, as opposed to, hey, I'm going to run this guy's dungeon and fuck with him, which is what the game's all about, then you'll get sick of it at that point. Because it really slows down at 20.
It's either if you enjoy being challenged by like really unpredictable areas, which is what every castle is going to be, or if you really enjoy the idea of creating your own castle situation, like those are the two thrills out of the game.
Yeah.
You don't really get all that much out of leveling except for being able to have access to more things.
To stuff, yeah.
To stuff into your castle, yeah.
Yeah,
so.
It can definitely be a problem because I want to make my castle better, and then there's often like, oh, well, you need your castle heart to be level 22, which means your hero has to be level 22, and then you need to upgrade the summoning portal for this, and then that. Then you get frustrated because...
but you can't upgrade your summoning portal until your heart of your castle is level 23, so get on that.
Yeah, that can get pretty irritating. That's the way they do the progression in that, so it's like, oh, all I want to do is just... I want to update these mobs because I know these mobs would be better if they were 4 levels higher and had an extra ability. But right now, my strategy doesn't work because this mob is too weak or whatever, and that gets pretty annoying. I kind of like to see them rework that because I think that if you want to invest in a particular kind of mob, I think you should be able to do that without having to upgrade everything else as well. But
I kind of hate how research is attached to the summoning portal. Like I get it, but.
It shouldn't be.
It's really frustrating to me, that I have to
upgrade your summoning portal as well.
It takes forever to be able to upgrade my research.
Like if you only want
entirely contingent on the summoning portal, which is entirely contingent on the heart.
Exactly.
I'm just like, can I just upgrade some dudes? That's all I want to do.
Yeah, if all you wanted to do was like use the same few kinds of minions, you should be able to do that and just upgrade them, but you can't. Yeah. And that's kind of annoying. So yeah, get on the treadmill, Angbadang, when it comes to that game. Yeah, but I log in the morning, I see how many people died in my castle, I loot their corpses, I loot all my mines, I see if I can build something. I may be doing, I may be about an hour every couple of days, I'll just do a full-on dungeon run where I just load up on boosts and just say, I'm going to hit as many castles as I can in an hour, get as many crowns and as much money as I can, and then I just kind of leave it. And it's fine. No, it's fine. I love that. Zeke is OP. Oh, you poor, poor naive souls. You have no idea what's in store for you. It's like, yeah, Zeke is pretty cool until you get even higher than that, and then you see some real shit.
Yeah, I think Zeke in the lower levels he's the named archer, right?
Yeah. Zeke is the kind of mid-level terror. Like, low levels, Pete Poundmore is what's going to kill you. Yeah. And then it's Zeke after Pete Poundmore. Once you've got enough armor, Pete Poundmore, and you can kite him pretty well, so that's fine. But then Zeke has the one-shot ability that can kind of just kill. If you stand still, that critical hit will kill you. Well, they don't home, but if you stand still, they fire multiple critical arrows, which will probably kill you. And a lot of people use Zeke's. But now it's traps. Like, most of the castles I run into that kill me are, oh, I didn't see those spring traps on the floor and they catapulted me into a 50 fucking fire mines, then I exploded. And they're like, fuck you, whoever does that. But yeah, every couple of levels you'll find the meta changes, and there'll be just some very popular combination of either traps or abilities which really fuck you over. Yeah, it's a fun game. It's still pretty good.
Yeah. It's alright.
Yeah, it's alright. Let's move on. Let's move on. We have like 25 minutes left before I have to bail, so let's do a little bit more news. Was there anything in the news that people really wanted to have a look at?
Shaq Fu?
No.
No.
Isn't that just a Kickstarter with Shaq?
We don't want to talk about Shaq Fu too.
Fuck that. Shaq Fu was bad. This is just trying to capitalize on the fact that Shaq Fu is known to be bad. It's like, let's make another Shaq Fu game. Said no sane person on the planet ever. No one wants another Shaq Fu game. If this thing gets funded, I'm going to lose all faith in mankind.
It'll probably get
the
funded.
internet.
Jack's behind it. Isn't he promoting
Yeah.
it?
Oh, God.
Yeah, that'll get
It's on Indiegogo, isn't it?
Yeah.
40 days left. $73,000 so far has been pledged to Shaq Fu. It needs 450K.
400 though. Yeah.
We do not need another Shaq. We didn't need the first Shaq Fu game, motherfuckers.
TB.
Yeah.
If you pledge enough money, Shaq will follow you on Twitter.
Really? That's one of them?
How many followers? How many
How
followers
much do I
does
have to
Shaq
pledge
actually
Shaq
have on Twitter?
For 35,000, I think it is, you get to go and like hang out with Shaq.
Yeah, but
Wow,
all
he's got
extra expenses are
8.16
not
million followers. That's pretty expensive.
I don't know if they cross your demographic, TB.
I don't know about that. He also speaks in very, very strange things. Like, he doesn't use real words.
Oh, Shaq's Twitter is hilarious.
Yeah.
He's a great Twitter account.
My favorite.
Something
On
there
par
with
with Kanye West
Redman
or no?
and 2 Chainz. It's like, oh, okay.
My favorite thing is there's a commercial for like cocoa butter with Shaq in it, and Shaq's like, I love cocoa butter. Cut to an entirely different man's body, cut back to Shaq's head. It is incredible. I don't know who they think they're fooling. Shaq has never been that physically fit. He has never been that muscular. Even when he was in the NBA, he was never that good. And there's like this huge buff dude. It's like, I like this a lot. It's like, you liars. So
I should be happy, because once that game comes out, I'll no doubt be able to make a decent amount of money slating it, so...
I want you in a beef with Shaq, and thus all of his rapper friends too. I want them to write songs about you, about how just much of a punk you are. Oh my god, I want that so badly.
Get into Wolf Wars with his bro Redman, apparently. No, I'm too white for that. I'm sorry, can't do that.
Gosh.
Witcher 3 got delayed to 2015.
That's right.
Good.
That's okay.
Good.
Good on them.
It's to make it good, make it better. Who cares?
Stop getting hyped up about video games, and you'll be happy about delays. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, this is going to be my crusade for the next couple of weeks. Stop getting hyped up about video games, because like,
Stop it.
well, there are so many benefits.
Anti-circle jerking.
Cut it out.
Yeah, there are so many benefits to not getting hyped up about video games, and one of them is you don't get upset about delays, which will invariably make the game better anyway.
Well, yeah, I think the better way to say it is get hype about video games, but don't be a fucking idiot about it.
Well, get hyped about video games when you play them, not 2 years before you play them. And if you're a site that's writing hype pieces, fuck off. Like, just die.
I mean,
I don't
that's a
think
different
there's
problem.
anything-
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with being really excited for a game to come out.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
then you become unreasonable. Like, you become the kind of person that pre-orders and then gets really, really disappointed when they end up, oh, I bought a game before I'd even touched it. That sounds really smart. Like, there's not that many other walks of life where you do that. It's like, yeah, I just dropped $60 on something that I've had no experience with whatsoever. You wouldn't do that with a fucking car, would you? You
I
gotta
don't know
fucking
that-
test drive it.
I mean, you could do
I don't
that
know that that's true either, because we're in a very privileged position where we get the opportunity to play games ahead of time all the time.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets that opportunity to play a game before
I
they buy
understand.
it.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean,
know.
that's why you do your research, and you don't. What annoys me is like I go onto Steam and I always see on the top sellers list a bunch of pre-orders. Like right now, Dark Souls 2. You fuckers pre-ordered Dark Souls 2. It's currently second on the chart. It's actually above real games like the Banner Saga and Banished, and I would call Rust a real game, but you get the
Those
idea.
all had their day.
Yeah. Yeah, but why would you pre-order Dark Souls 2 when Dark Souls was one of the worst ports to ever grace the platform? Are you out of your fucking minds? Wait! Wait and see if the port's any good. What are you doing? Like, you don't even get a discount. Like, if you got a discount, I understand that, like, most of us are probably going to buy Dark Souls 2. I get that. And if you got a discount, I can say, okay, right, fair enough. Maybe it's worth taking the risk. But no, you don't. You get early access weapons. Why would you want that? That fucking ruins the
best
progression.
part is they're not even good. They're actually worse than every weapon in the game. From Software made them bad.
Yeah, I know that From Software doesn't want to let you buy power, which is great, but
Yeah.
you don't get anything worthwhile with this. Stop this. Like, this is what I'm talking about. If you get hyped up about video games, you become susceptible to this kind of shit. And when when someone pulls like a Dark Souls, like the Dark Souls PC port was fucking awful and was only eventually fixed by modders, then you're the guys that get shafted. Like, we, in our privileged position, we don't really get shafted. We get a lot of games for free. Like, we don't really care. If the game ends up being bad, it's like, well, another bad game for the pile. But for people that only buy a couple of games a month and don't have a lot of disposable income, that's bad. Like, and I just don't understand why they do that. Stop pre-ordering things and stop getting hyped
Jesse?
about things.
Speaking of getting shafted and had its day, according to a Rolling Stone interview, our dear friend, the creator of Flappy Bird, is thinking about bringing the game back.
Oh.
And I'd just like to point out, when I said he was a retard, I meant what I said, and I stand by it. He is.
Well,
I hate him so much.
Apparently, he's a
I hate him
genius.
so much.
I'm sorry,
No.
he's doing
I was gonna
interviews
say,
with Rolling Stone.
Jesse called him a genius at a certain point.
No,
Yeah.
only after we discovered that possibly his plan was to take it off the market to build the hype up even further. In which case, he's a genius. Otherwise, he is a punk, and I hate him as much as Shaq hates TP. So I just want to put that out there. That he's like, I'm so scared of money. Can I have some more, please? Get out of here. No one likes you. Go home. That's all I have to say about that. Continue. What other news is there?
That does remind me of Shaq and TB.
I want that to be a thing. So we're gonna make that a thing. We're gonna make that. God, Shaq hates TV so much.
What the hell did that come from? Oh, man.
Shaq just does not like you, man.
Apparently
Thank
not.
you.
Anything else on the news front that's worth talking about?
A Sony Oculus Rift, maybe.
Well, we already knew that was happening. Like, there's various companies who are trying to do virtual reality tech. Although I've got to say that I'm not massively keen on Sony doing it because, like, oh, here's virtual reality tech on a console that's already out of date. Like, because that could actually kill interest in VR forever if the experience isn't very good. It's like 3D.
But
Well, remember how 3D gaming just bombed completely? Like, playing a 3D game on a PS3 was fucking terrible because, like, really bad frame rate, real low resolution. If that tech was launched on a really good platform and was actually executed well, it would have probably been a lot more successful. But
3D was nothing new. 3D was just something
well,
that...
neither's VR.
But VR is something that we haven't been able to utilize with games at all, whereas
well, we
3D
have,
at
but
least
not
has
properly.
been attempting to be involved.
Yeah, I get the point. I mean, VR back in the 90s was either some shit that you did in an arcade or with a really expensive rig, or you bought these really bad VR headsets that you could play like Heretic with that were just not very good at all. Yeah, so that's a fair thing to say. it's just, I kind of hope the Oculus Rift comes out before Sony's effort and is really good and kind of sets the pace. Because then if Sony fucks up, then it's still like, oh, VR's still completely viable. It's just Sony made a bad version of it.
But did we ever get like this is when you'll have an Oculus Rift?
No.
Like it's just in the ether, and I think
it's not in the ether. It's under active development. I mean, they showed a new prototype. They showed Crystal Cove quite recently.
But they keep, it keeps like, this is another prototype. We're gonna get better. And we're gonna do this. Well, and I feel like competition is gonna force them to be like, let's step our game up and get this out. Or it might make them make a shitty one. I don't know.
Someone just made a point about the Power Glove, by the way. It's like, Power Glove didn't destroy motion-based peripherals forever. No, it only killed them for 20 years. You're right. I'd prefer VR actually came out sometime in the next decade.
It's so bad, you guys.
So bad.
So bad.
And to be fair, motion-based stuff is ruined again now because all of the games that were put on it were terrible. You know?
But the comments on all the posts and news articles about this are all very pro Rift, which I think they're like, please don't release anything else, which is very interesting because a lot of people who definitely want that to succeed, but I'd like to have a product before I get on a bandwagon of like, go.
I mean, I like the idea, and I've used the prototype. Yeah. The prototype made me sick, by the way. They need to sort the FOV out in a real way, and they need to.
They have, right? Like, no, that's what Crystal Cove was.
And still not yet. The main problem is it's not just the field of view, it's the fact that if you have less than perfect vision, it can cause problems with you too. Like me, as I discovered, I failed my visual test for my driver's license. I failed it. My left eye.
Wear glasses now.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to get LASIK. But my left eye is completely fucked. I couldn't see the column on the left-hand side at all. I never knew this. I've been living with this apparently for decades, and I never knew that my left eye was that fucked. So I'll probably just get it laser corrected.
Is that why you need FOV up so high?
No.
Oh my god!
Don't start with me.
If you get LASIK, are you going to be like, 80's good, 75 even better?
Never in a million fucking years. Nah, it'll be even better. Like, when I've got better vision, I can have higher FOV and still be as accurate. It's going to be fucking awesome. I'm going to absolutely rule at FPS. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, I need to get
smart pistol anyway, so you don't really I mean,
it all comes back around to the salt, doesn't it? Man, I'm going to get laser surgery. He's going to get heart surgery for all that fucking salt.
I'll have a heart attack.
Indeed.
Jets.
Yeah. So, any other?
Ouya is now doing Ouya everywhere.
No.
You don't even need an Ouya to play Android games. Guess what? We didn't need one anyway.
I know.
Blowing my mind. It is my new favorite thing.
Well,
no,
so what does that mean? Basically, they're just releasing Ouya games not on Ouya?
They want to make it so that their software, which they've decided is exemplary. Their exemplary software.
What software?
This is too much time speaking about the Ouya already.
Should go on other devices than the Ouya.
Oh, they're putting it on set-top box shit. So they're putting it on, like, the Mojo, which no one is going to buy. That, which again is a Mad Catz. All of these little micro consoles that are coming out, the Mad Catz one. Jesus, the Mad Catz one was $250. Even buying a Shield is kind of a difficult thing, but at least that's handheld. You can kind of justify it.
I can't remember where. I'm going to try to find the quote, but there was an article that I was reading where they were talking about how Ouya representatives have been coming to game developers and talking about how to port their game to the personal computer. I was like,
pretty sure they knew how to do that anyway.
Jesse's mouth is just like,
I can't. You guys know me. When it comes to redundant shit like this, it pisses me off so much, and I just can't.
I'll tell you. Well, it seems like what they're trying to do is just to become a store provider for Android games, which is weird because the Play Store already exists, so it's really hard to do that.
Yeah.
They just wants their cut. Like, couldn't give a shit if they're selling the hardware anymore. They just want their cut.
They just want to stay relevant. That's all. They want relevance in a market that does not need them anymore.
Well, no, because Towerfall just came out on Steam, so there's no reason to own a Ouya anymore.
Okay. Yep. And like the only thing that they could possibly offer on other devices is basically trying to be Steam, like being some sort of a
we already have it.
hub.
It's called Play
And
Store.
we have it everywhere. We already have that everywhere. Like
I do not understand what they're trying to achieve with this.
I almost feel like for a collective internet, it would have been better if the Ouya Kickstarter had just taken everyone's money and not produced anything, rather than have us watch us just sad decline to nothing. Like, money was given and spent and created nothing. And I just would rather they have stolen it and gone to like Puerto Vallarta. I'm just saying, it would have done better for all of us. At least we would have had like a collective anger. Instead, now you're just like, God, they really tried. They really tried.
yeah.
Single tier.
Oh,
That's sad.
it is.
They made what they wanted to make, and then they made a lot of bad business decisions. And I feel like that's really what it came down to.
Well, I mean, again, it just comes down to software. If it had more games than just Towerfall that were actually fucking worth playing on it, then yeah, people would have dropped $99. Like, give me a couple of killer apps and I'll drop $99 on your console. But Towerfall is not enough.
What it did it taught us a very fundamental console lesson that I think is very important. Without games, even if your console is like, say, a Nintendo console, it will be shit if you have nothing to play on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lesson learned.
Yeah. Apparently, Jesse, you just hit 600,000 subs, so congrats.
Thanks, everybody.
Woo!
And
Congrats to the 400,000 of you who no longer watch my channel.
Oh, yeah, that's so depressing, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't even look at my sub numbers anymore, because it's like, well, I'm not sure how I acquired these, but they're not watching my shit, so I don't care.
Yeah, like, I love those of you who are watching. God bless you. The rest of you, what the hell, man? What the hell?
Yeah.
what do
I
you
have
do?
almost 450,000 now, and I still get typically around 20 to 30,000 views.
There are
for my
very,
videos, and I'm
very
like,
few channels
where
that
did
don't.
you all go?
There are
what did I do?
There are very few channels that don't work that way.
Low-cut top shirts. They're waiting for those. Bring them back.
Just
Well, there's
unsub.
just,
Bring them back.
you know, I
Bring
don't
back.
know of
It already
many.
happened.
I don't know of many channels on YouTube that have sub numbers that match their view numbers on a regular basis. Like, even PewDiePie. Like, oh god, I'm searching PewDiePie. I'm doing this
21
for you
million,
guys.
something like that.
Let's see. Yeah, 24 million subscribers.
Oh my God.
And let's see. His regular videos are currently pulling in about 2.5 to 4 million views. So that
There you go.
ratio is equal to my
Everyone
stuff.
else's on YouTube,
Everyone
yeah.
else's, yeah. Basically,
Sounds
it's
about
about your ratio is going to be anywhere between 10 to 20% of your
20,
subs will convert into regular viewers. Simple as that.
So funny.
So sub numbers don't really mean much, guys.
That
But
doesn't mean
watch
shit.
my videos 5 times. I love you.
They do not mean shit. The only people that care about sub numbers are advertisers and sponsors. So
Look, I care
if
because
you want to fool them with that,
button.
by all means.
I want a gold play button. I want that gold play button.
You know, actually, I emailed them about that a couple of days ago, and it's like, oh, well, we're going to have a ceremony in London for you to come and collect it. And it's like, I don't live in London anymore. Please just post me my gold play button. And they're like, yeah, sure, what's your address? So I'm planning to getting that in the next few weeks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So badly. Look, 2014, year of a million. I'm making it happen. If I have to do bikini videos, it will happen.
Please don't.
happen.
I will sub
I'll
to you if you
I'll
don't
do
do
whatever
that.
it takes, internet.
To be fair, I'm
Make it
actually
lower.
sub to you anyway.
I'll make it lower for
I sub to you to keep an eye on how much money whoring you do with your Let's Plays. It's pretty cool.
Subscribe now, guys.
It's probably a good time to wrap things up. Like I was gonna say, is there a worthwhile release coming out? I think the two biggest things are probably Final Fantasy. Well, Titanfall's already out.
Dark Souls 2.
Already out.
Are we talking next week or March?
Well, this week, like stuff that's coming out towards the end of the week. Or next week, yeah. I mean, this week, everything that's going to be out is already out with the exception of Yoshi's New Island, which is coming out on the 14th on 3DS.
I'm sorry, who?
Yoshi.
I'm sorry, who?
Yoshi. You American fucks.
Yoshi was.
Yoshi.
Yeah, Yoshi.
What the fuck?
Yoshi's twin evil brother, Yoshi.
Yoshi. It's like Wario and Yoshi.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yoshi. like how chat finally caught up and they're just now in on it. Go, chat.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my god.
Yoshi's. I don't even remember the rest of the game now, and I'm always gonna call it Yoshi now.
Yoshi.
Yoshi.
Oh, beautiful.
It's Yoshi, there you go.
Yeah.
What a perfect way to end it.
That's how it's pronounced. It's how it's written. It's how it's done in proper British English. Yoshi. Yeah, next week it's like Final Fantasy X2 Remaster and The Witch and the 100 Nights on PS3. Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, which is like 2 hours long and still $30.
I guess that's Tuesday, right?
March the 18th. Yeah, next week.
Oh.
Oh god, Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z, that one.
I haven't seen anything about that. It's probably
God.
so bad.
I have no idea what's going on with that. But Love Trousers is coming out. There's another. There's some mispronunciation for you. I think it's Luftrausers, I believe is the correct pronunciation for that. But I call it Love Trousers.
Luftrausers.
Love Trousers. Yeah. That's got some meaty combat in it, I can tell you that for a fact. That's out on PC and PlayStation Vita. Yeah. There you go.
I think the week after that is all the big stuff. Like Infamous and all this stuff like that.
Oh, that's right.
Infamous coming out at the end of this month?
Yeah.
Is it?
March
21st, 25th, something like that.
Oh, shit, son. I have a reason to play my PS4.
Yeah, everyone.
And Reaper of Souls is out on the 25th. So,
Yep.
I guess beat Infamous in 4 days, they play Reaper of Souls.
Oh,
Works for
so
me.
is
Cool.
the 25th is also the BioShock DLC. The last
yes.
game you'll ever play from them.
Indeed.
Yep.
Truly.
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 That's pretty good time to wrap us up, honestly. I want to go on and
Okay.
fill it to shout at people. So let's do
Yoshi.
that. All right. Yoshi. So do a Let's Play Yoshi's Cookie, or in Britain it's called Yoshi's Biscuit. Yoshi's Biscuit.
And is it really called Yoshi's Cookie? What?
Yeah, there was a game called Yoshi's Cookie. Do you remember that?
Was there?
No,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
remember that at
Yoshi's
all.
Island. Yoshi's Island.
There was a game called Yoshi's Cookie, which I
played
believe was like
that.
I think it was kind of Dr. Mario-esque. It was on the Game Boy Color, I
Just
think.
Cooking Mama, but with Yoshi instead.
No.
Yoshi. Yoshi.
Oh wow! No, it was on the SNES. I mean, it was a tile matching puzzle game developed in 1992 by Bulletproof, and published by Nintendo. It was a game about eating biscuits as Yoshi.
As Yoshi, of course.
Sounds
of course.
Yoshi's Biscuit.
Top tier
Dodger,
game.
what's coming
Yes.
up? What's coming up on your channel? Why should we watch you?
All right. I have 2 channels. My first one is Press Start to Continue, where I do gaming stuff. This week, we're trying Prettiest Princess again.
Oh god, enjoy the
Long
deaths.
live the Queen. I'm doing
Dark
another
Souls
attempt.
anime version.
I put up the very first episode, and so many of the comments are, "Man, 2 minutes in, and she's already messing up again."
fucked
And I'm
up.
like, "Stop it! Stop it!"
You
Stop
can back-
ruining
So-
it, idiots.
That's happening.
It's incredible.
Doing another
yeah, you
attempt.
can totally
We're gonna
mess
try to
that
get
game
all
up
the
really early.
outfits because that's what I care about. And then I do a news show every Saturday, so there will be a news show this Saturday. And on my other channel, Dexterity Bonus, I do a daily vlog and talk about my cats and drink coffee, and it's wonderful. And on all the social media stuffs, I'm at DexBonus, DEXBONUS. And special thanks to Sam for filling in and talking about Dark Souls.
I bet you can't wait for all the comments that says, "Oh, you should replace Dodger with Sam all the time."
It's gonna happen. Of
course it will.
Yeah. Every time. Every
People
time
have-
I'm not here and there's a different guest, we're like, "When should
There's that tiny little
No.
section of the audience that have the giantest fucking confirmation bias complex I've ever seen in my fucking life. She never talks. It's like, well, you know what I'd like to see actually? Here, you want to fucking prove your point? Go through last few episodes and fucking run a counter every time Dodger talks. Like, and compare it to the rest of us and see what fucking happens. You want to do
That'd
that?
be interesting.
Then do the Nika Harper episode and see that 95% of that is... compare that to Cheeb, who has about 3 sentences edgeways in there.
Oh,
Poor Cheeb. We have discovered it's a terrible idea to put anyone other than me and Nika on the same show because they don't get to speak. Oh
Yeah.
god, there's some people that I would never invite to the show as a 4-man show because the other people will never get a word in edgeways, and I think Nika has got to be one of them.
love you, Nika.
Oh god,
Nika, I love you.
Jesse, what's coming up on your channel? Let me guess, More money whoring South Park bullshit.
South Park will probably be either done today or tomorrow. We're almost
I was
going to
say it's not that long.
And thank you all for watching. And I guarantee all the 600,000 of you, or however many that subscribed, are because of that game. So thank you.
Hey, do you want me to track your subscription stats? I can do that.
Please don't.
Let's track your subscription stats over the last few days.
And
Continue.
then I'll probably end up finishing Tokyo Jungle, which is only 3 episodes left of that. I just have 1 episode to film. Apparently, the last few are very hard, so that's why I was like, F it, I'll get to those later. And then because it's the weekend, we'll do a Fan Friday that is one I promised you 2 years ago. So...
Oh, you're not going to do Mitsurugi Kamo Hakai that just came out?
Don't know what that is, no.
It's a schoolgirl brawler from Glorious
God.
Nippon.
All right, Jesse's canceling Friday and playing.
No, guys, it's already been 2 years. You can wait another week.
Yes.
And and I think I might actually, just because I want to prove to everyone that I'm a better pretty princess, do a Fan Friday or a one-off just so I can do better than Dodger.
You are
so people will be like,
fucked,
you are
son.
so much better at being a princess.
No, you're not.
I
You're
am.
gonna get wrecked.
No.
Nope. I will be good.
He's getting
then,
wrecked. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
It's the Jesse Cox on Facebook and Jesse Cox on Twitter, and then Cox and Crendor is the YouTube channel that actually has as many subscribers as views. So that's a thing.
Wow.
So go watch that.
Yeah, I think it seems like if you put out like one piece of content every month, then you might have equal.
Yes,
Oh, by the
yes.
way, here's your stats. Your subscriber count per day doubled since you started doing South Park, and you had a spike on Sunday of 1,000 new subs.
It's almost like I'm 1/8 of a day for PewDiePie. No, wait, 1/18 of a day for PewDiePie.
I was gonna say 1/8. That's a bit generous, isn't it?
That's right. So all I need is several small countries to become very interested in me, and I got this on lock. I got it on lockdown.
Just keep bandwagoning the popular stuff, man. It's the way to go.
Getting out very fast. Look,
Yeah.
I learned from the Rad Brad. I'm gonna steal his format. I'm gonna become the Messy Jesse, and I'll just start. I'll start pounding out videos. That's right. That's right.
See.
Oh, shots fired. Jesse, you're an idiot. JP, what do you got coming on this week?
For those that are unaware, I do a bunch of stuff called roleplay. It's basically D&D, but it's on the internet.
Yeah.
I stream it all, then I put it up over on my channel.
Yeah.
We've got 4 shows currently, which is really just 3 shows currently, because
Dark Heresy never fucking happens.
Yeah, everyone else is too busy to do that.
We're
so
actually
that's
doing a
fun.
format change on that. Like, we've been... after we've kind of done with this current adventure, we're most likely going to be doing, like, a bunch of one-shot adventures that are much more suited to, like, we're going to do a 4-hour session, and here's a story in 4 hours, you know? So...
We're going to try. We'll see if that
Yeah,
actually...
it'll fail miserably.
We have a tendency to just find a shopkeeper and then just... for 3 hours.
Beans!
Yeah. So that's all over at youtube.com/ItMeJP. And then I stream here on Twitch over at twitch.tv/ItMeJP. I'll be playing Dark Souls 2 actually, probably in about 30 minutes because I'm going to go get dinner. But
like-
apart from that, thanks again for having me. It was awesome to be on the show.
No problem. Coming up this week, I don't know, I might do Mitsurugi Kamo Hakai just because everyone knows that I really like anime bullshit. So we'll see how that goes. I have 10 Second Ninja, which is the most fucking frustrating game I've ever played in my life. Holy fuck, what the hell are you doing? Die Hard Dungeon, which is probably going to be similar to that. And then I've got Towerfall sitting around, which is I will probably hate because it's 4x3. The game's in fucking 4x3. 4x3. Come on.
Just
4x3.
stretch your monitor. Just pull the monitor.
Oh, for Christ's sake. It's in 4x3, Dodger. How can you like this shit?
Wow.
I still got to do the Yogg.
I don't measure enjoyment in resolution, TB.
You're doing it wrong, then, obviously.
Indeed. Anyway, yeah, outside of that, I'm still going to do the Yogg with Jenna. I think that's going to be a stream, and then it'll be a WTF following that up. And I'm pretty sure, like, coming fairly soon, although we don't know when, will be Heroes of the Storm. So, and I do have Tech Alpha access to that, so
Yeah, boy.
fully expect to do some stuff with
Should
that.
play when it comes out.
Sorry, man, I've already got plans to run a series with the missus. We're going to do Duo Q, and we're going to put it on her channel, and it'll probably be called something shitty like Wife Aggro, and I will play
Wait,
Abatha.
you can 2v2 in that game? What?
No, you just you queue and you take a lane with.
Well, then you got 3 other places, man. What do you?
I think he's saying he doesn't want to have you there.
No, but I'm gonna butt my way into
my
this.
bandwagon only has room for 2. You can get the hell off and find your own. But we have no idea when that's coming, so it'll happen eventually, no doubt. But yeah, but I definitely don't want to do a series with that with Jenna. I have no idea if that'll end up working out. It could be awful.
Yeah, that's not.
I'll just do nothing but play Abatha, so that's how it goes. Well, I don't think there's really that much else coming out this week that I really want to cover. I will do a Towerfall video probably. Windforge is out. I should probably have a look at that. But you know how I get. Sometimes I just don't do this shit. Oh, thank God that the Powerpuff Girls game is coming out in 3 days. Defenders of Townsville. Yeah,
come out real soon.
That'll go well.
That's awesome.
That might also be a game.
Did we just travel back in time?
No, we did not.
When did that become important again?
I have no idea.
It's like 2003 up in this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's that. Yeah, and there'll be more Sailbox, there'll be more Hearthstone, and there'll probably be a couple more Spotlight videos, and I'm most likely going to do that Don't Believe the Hype video over sometime the next week. And you should watch Clan Wars, because it's awesome, and there's plenty more coming in the next couple of months. Check it out, mlg.tv/shoutcraft for the schedule. And we're about done, and I'm going to go on Unfiltered and shout at people. So goodbye, thank you for watching the Correctional Podcast, we're leaving.
Bye.